It breaks my heart to think of leaving all that I love. See, it's just me against this glass ceiling. My hopes have disappeared. This was my dream to salvage this art form, but it's become a nightmare. You can't let them bring you down to their level. You know you're far too clever. You know that you have to show the monsters who you are. Make them grow, make them fall. They'll never get the best of you. All you have to do is fall. Thank you so very much.
Hello, it's today I am the Viscount de Vonesper. Welcome to Found a Phantom, my show about Phantom of the Opera. And today's going to be a killer show. I got so much cool stuff planned for you, and we got a great special guest. So let's just bring him right in, because I know we're just like dying to talk some Phantom. Pete, hello. Pete Bregman, did I say it correctly?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure. I
Well,
don't
that's
call myself. I don't
kinda
speak
same.
in the what is it, third person?
Yeah.
So
Similar with me, because Von Esper is a fake name, so like people are like, did I pronounce it right? I'm like, I don't know, I made it up anyway. So
oh, really?
doesn't
That's
really
not
matter.
That's not. Wait.
It's
but
not my
you're
real name. It's my stage
Kevin.
name. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
the Ramones weren't really Ramones, and David
Okay.
Bowie was not really David Bowie. So
That's true.
this is my persona of sorts, my stage.
What if
How's
your
it
real
going,
name
man?
was even? What if your real name was even more interesting than Vonesper?
Well, then maybe I would have used it, But I think just being born with it and growing with it, like it's gonna always be boring to you.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think anyone's ever spelled my name right though. Usually it's Bergman.
I got it right though, right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Yes.
No, you got it right.
I had
More often than not.
I had good reference materials.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So who are you? What do you do? And how did you get into Phantom of the Opera?
I am Pete Bregman. I do a little bit of everything. I've always been a classic monster fan. Favorite two books are Phantom of the Opera by Larue and Dracula by Bram Stoker. But
I've never actually read Dracula. It's
you have or you have not?
I know. I have not. I'm gonna have
I love it. I've read them both quite a few times. And I've always been a monster fan, just always drawn them, this and that. I did Trapdoor Maker. Geez, it was 15 years ago now, I think.
Oh my God.
It was, I started it originally. Actually, I was working as an animation director in an animation studio. And I was reading the book again for the umpteenth time. And there's those of you who read it, there's the character, the Persian, who's pursuing throughout. And I thought that was such a, he's only in, one of the movies, really. He's in the Lon Chaney one.
He's like the most important character to the story, pretty much. And he's written out of almost every version of the adaptation. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I always thought that so those who haven't read it, those who have read it, you'll be familiar with it. But those who haven't read it, there's a brief part of the book where they talk, the guy who is pursuing Eric throughout the story he's called they call him the Persian, but he was he knew the Daroga, so which was like the kind of the chief of police in Iran back when Eric was a young man. So Eric was he was born deformed. He wasn't burned. He wasn't
that's another thing they always get wrong.
Yeah, he was not.
Well, not all of them, but
he was not disfigured. So he left home at an early age, working at sideshows as a magician, etc. He was a genius, and his reputation preceded him. So the Shah of Persia, who was like the Sultan at the time, hired him because he knew about all his genius. Hired him essentially to renovate the palace with a bunch of secret passages and weapons and this and that. The Shah, who was a very paranoid man, So for years, Eric.
Yeah, and this must have really fascinated you because.
Oh, I love it. And it's such a brief thing. It was such a, but it
Yeah.
really shows like just that one little part of a chapter makes everything else in the book seem, a lot more legit. And then basically, long story short, after Eric's work was done, the Shah figured Eric knew too much, so wanted to have him killed. So the chief of police, the Daroga, who was tasked with getting rid of Eric, basically they had become friends, and he kind of pitied him a little bit, so helped him escape.
Yes, he
So
found a corpse to
Yep, he faked his death, and then cut to years later, when all the Phantom of the Opera stuff starts going down. The Persian, he starts putting dots together, and he goes, "I think I know who's doing this stuff," because he kind of recognized the stuff. So, but I also thought that was such a cool story. So, Trapdoor Maker takes place essentially when Eric gets to Iran and ends when he's essentially
leaving.
Yeah, and then he like last scene is he's he's in Paris. He's arriving in Paris. I just thought that was such a cool part. So I originally boarded it out and stuff as an animated feature because I was working in an animation studio, and the place I was working, they had gotten some notoriety. We had worked on the first Lego Star Wars thing for Cartoon Network. It's called Revenge of the Brick, and it was a CG. It was a little 5-minute mini movie. We did that, so they had a lot of press. So the owner of the animation studio, I was like, "Hey, do you want to start a comics division?" He's like, "Oh, sure." So we called Treehouse Comics, and then so I basically pitched it to Diamond Diamond, which distributes all the comics worldwide. They have a submission process, so I kind of just one person operation, pitched it to them, got it distributed and stuff, and then so it originally came out as 3 different books, mini books, and then then I did the collected edition, which you had,
which is the one I have. That'd be nice, the individuals for my collection one day, but they're a little harder to find, I think.
Oh, I have tons of them still.
Oh yeah.
So,
all right, we're gonna talk about that offline.
I got you covered on that.
Yeah, but I just want all the cool covers, which we'll also talk about soon.
Yeah, thank you. So I ended up doing that, and then
we could jump right into it now. Who did the cover?
So the cover is
so fucking cool.
So Basil Gogos, who's my favorite artist, one of my 3 favorite artists are Basil Gogos, Jack Davis, and then John Severin. Those are from John Severin and Jack Davis. Actually, all the EC Comics guys. But Basil did all the famous monsters of Filmland. Yeah, so your grandparents probably know of those. But he's just phenomenal artist. He was the first guy to really add color to. Yeah, there you go. He has a style and a look and stuff, and it's just phenomenal.
He's done many Phantoms in his day for sure.
Yeah, many.
Here's some of them.
So I reached out to him and just wanted to commission him to do the cover, and he lives in New York City. I live in New York City, and we negotiated a price. So his stuff, and just like people like his original paintings, I mean, they go for $15,000 to $50,000. So I mean, there's people. Yeah, they should. Like Kirk Von Hammett owns some.
He's
Rob Zombie owns some.
I consider him a Phantom.
Yeah, the Madhouse. So I love that painting.
The Vibes, right?
Yeah, no, that's not. I think that's from Madhouse.
Oh, really? It looks
Vincent,
like
Vibes is the.
They're both Vincent Price, I guess.
Yeah, they're both Vincent Price.
Okay.
And there's the look at all those Phantoms.
Yeah,
I consider House of Wax kind of a Phantom. Vincent Price and House of Wax kind of a Phantom too.
Okay, yeah, I'll add that one to my collection.
So he lives actually kind of close to me. He passed away a few years ago.
Yeah. R.I.P. Basil.
Yeah, so
I think my friend recorded the last interview with him ever for a documentary.
Oh wow, he was such a sweet guy. So nice.
I never got to meet him. Yeah,
he was super, super nice. I needed, so this book, it was drawn by hand, and
So did he do 3 different covers for you?
No, he did just this one. The other 3 were CGI, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I made him look more illustrated. But he did. Wait, I lost my track. Oh, so he did this painting. I needed a photograph of it because obviously, like, I couldn't afford to buy the painting from him. But if I was going to spend that kind of money, I'd want like a Frankenstein or Phantom or something.
Yeah.
So I asked, he said he had a photographer and can, shoot at high res and give me the digital file. So he sent me a CD, with the art on it, and I got it, and it was like super low res.
Oh
And
no.
so I called him up and I was like, hey, is it okay if I just come? Can I, bring my photographer or something, just take a picture of it, take 5 minutes? He's like, yeah. He goes, you can just take the painting, home, just bring it back in a few days. So I was like, okay.
Oh shit.
So I get off work. He lived on the Upper West Side, right across from Central Park. So I go in there, and he said he'll leave it with his doorman. So I walk in, and the painting's big. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty big, and so the doorman brings it out, and it's in a Dwayne Reed drugstore bag. Halfway, so like I'd say the bag was about as high as where Eric's nose would be on that painting.
Right.
So like the eyes are peeking out, and it had a piece of clear, acetone over it. And I was like, oh my god! So I was like, okay. And the minute I walk out, I'm looking for a cab. It starts raining.
No.
So I was like, oh, right. And I was like, oh my god! And I was so right as the cab pulls up, as it starts, I get in right when the door shuts, it starts pouring. So long story short, I made it home with the painting. I had to have the cab driver wait for a few minutes for it to stop raining. I brought it into my apartment, but it was
adds character. Did the rain damage it at all, or
not at all? It was I could see. It was one of those. It was almost divine. Like you could hear the thunder, the clouds, and you could see. You know how sometimes you can see it raining, like 100 yards away. You can see it starting to drizzle. I was gonna, and then like, do I run back into the building or do I hop into the cab? So fortunately, a cab rolled up, but it was terrifying because
wow.
Yeah, that could have gotten ugly if it got damaged.
Well, I wanted to highlight a couple other things that I have that he has done. Of course, he did some Misfits records.
Oh, nice. Yes.
I don't know if you knew about those. Of course,
I did.
My copies are tainted by autographs by people we don't talk about anymore. But the artwork's great.
Oh, who is that? Who is that? Who don't we talk about?
Oh, we don't talk about Michael Graves and Dr. Chubbs.
There you go.
For various reasons.
Yep.
And then of course,
Rob I love
Zombie,
that painting. Yeah, that's
by Basil.
Awesome.
Is it Basil or Basil?
He says Basil. I always thought it was Basil until I met him, and he calls himself Basil.
What's I won't say who, but offline, someone in my documentary said that he actually took the photo that this was later painted based on.
Yeah,
I never got any credit. But I forgot. But Basil. I forgot.
Wait, what did I say? Basil.
I don't know.
He calls himself Basil.
I usually just read it. I never really say it.
Yeah. He's like, hello, Peter's Basil.
So yeah,
I don't know if it's
for my
Basil with
monster
his
rock
accent.
bands, also respect to the Clash.
I told you about Monster Wolf last night. So it's
right.
Yeah, these guys, they're in NWA, Billy Corgan's league. They're the tag champions. It's
NWA.
Yeah, it's the classic National Wrestling Alliance where Billy Corgan bought it a few years ago.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
They're called La Rebellion. So it's Mecha Wolf, and his partner is Bestia 666. His father was Damian 666, who was another Lucha Libre guy. But they're cool. They were the face paint, and Mecha Wolf is in
La Rebellion.
La Rebellion, yeah. If you and then actually if you go to, but their band is Monster Wolf, and it's very.
So they're wrestlers that are in a band.
They're Lucha Libre guys. He's from Puerto Rico, and Bestia is from Mexico, but he's in a band, yeah. And then his band it's very misfitsy, very just if you're a horror fan, it's like that stuff. If you go on,
I got it.
There you go. If you go on Instagram, he's.
Monster
That's the band Monster Wolf, yeah, and then Mecha Wolf is the wrestler.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check this out.
Yeah,
always looking for new stuff.
Big horror. He's a big horror fan. Yeah, you guys see their face paints and stuff. Like his on Instagram you can go to. Like he always does. Like he had like a King Diamond inspired one time.
Okay.
He's pays homage to a lot of stuff.
Who does their art? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I've done some stuff for him.
Yeah.
If you go to on my Instagram, so we were at Expo Lucha, which is a big annual Lucha Libre convention, because I do a lot of work for the Lucha guys.
Okay.
And then we were going to do a card set of them, of La Rebellion. So I did a bunch of, if you go on my Instagram, if you scroll down, I have a lot of junk in there.
Everyone go check out Pete's Instagram. Go follow. Give him a follow.
There's my cat. There should be, if you go down, actually, if you go up to the one on the right above the speech balloon thing, to
This
the
one?
right, where that's one of the they had at this one event.
This
That
is
was
Ghost,
their,
isn't it?
yeah, but that was their ring attire. They came
Oh,
out
wow.
in that. I did an illustration of that. That's one of the trading cards we did for them.
Oh, that's
But if
cool.
you scroll down more, there's some cool.
Lots of monsters for sure.
Yeah,
Here,
tons
lots of
monsters.
phantoms.
Yep.
You love your phantoms.
Where is the? I don't even know where the card. There's another one I did of them. That's them. That's another trading card. That's Mecha Wolf on the right,
cool.
And then right below it, there's some. There's a whole series. We didn't end up not. We're gonna do them eventually, and then there's a poster I did of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but cool dudes. Yeah, check out Monster Wolf though. They just did. I think they just finished their first studio album like today.
Oh wow! Oh, okay.
He had a single out, that Lupin Skinwalker, but I saw something on Instagram. Meant to congratulate him. Just like I think they just finished up their studio album.
So you know what's fun? I don't even know how, but I ended up with 2 of these things, and one of them is actually autographed by you.
When did I do that?
I have no idea. No, I don't. I could have ordered it from you a long time ago, or I could have just gotten it on eBay and it was autographed already. Who knows? I don't remember.
When the original ones came out, I did a thing because I had all the original art and they're huge pieces of art, old school. So I put when I sent it to Amazon, I sent because they used to be on Amazon, I sent 100 of them, whatever the inventory was. Mm-hmm. So in a couple of them, I actually wrote a little hand notes like, hey, if you're finding this, shoot an email to here and I'll send you, you get a piece of original art. So
could have been something like that. Here's a little bit of the original covers.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's
black. They're black and white, but so yeah, okay. So you took the idea from this little tiny section of the book that is mostly skipped over in most versions of Phantom of the Opera, I would say, right? Yeah. But the tone of your comic is a lot different than the book.
Yeah,
it's funny, it's violent, it's kind of slapsticky. There's there's definitely some wrestling influence in there.
A little bit of everything. I kind of think of it as, because it takes place in mid 1800s, so it's kind of like it's MacGyver meets Aladdin, but there's no supernatural. So instead of weaponizing a genie, he kind of weaponizes his genius.
Yeah.
So he's not a bad guy in. I mean, he's a bad guy in Phantom of the Opera, obviously, but he's
more innocent here.
Yeah, he's an innocent dude, and he starts.
How old would you say he is in your story?
I say he's about 20, early 20s at the oldest. But he's kind of just exploited. He's taken advantage of. He's an innocent dude, and he's very.
So this is post Freak Show era, right?
Post Freak Show, but he obviously the trauma of his upbringing. His parents made him wear a mask. Obviously, because they couldn't stand to look at him. So his self-esteem's not great, but you can see.
There's no actual unmasking in this story.
There's
some sketches in the back.
Yeah, there's some sketches in the back. I figured don't show, but if you look through, I don't know
you can see through the veil.
Yeah, you can see bits and pieces, but I think I don't know if I did this or if I plan to do it, but I want to in one scene you might see this part of him.
Right. Yeah. There's little you can see his jaw sometimes.
But you might see in other parts. If you put it all together, you can kind of piece.
Yeah.
What he looks like.
So then what? I have a lot of questions. What was the influence of the mask in this? Because that's a little different. It's more of a cloth mask.
Yeah,
attached to a hat.
The mask was. I figured, what would he be? He was penniless in the Middle East, or wherever Iran is. Iran? I'm not even. I should know what continent that's on. Is that?
That was going to be another question. Did you actually do any research on?
A lot of the Persian stuff, especially from a little bit of the history, because that time period. But I did a ton of research on just wardrobe, weapons, attire.
That's what I was wondering. So this is kind of historically accurate design wise,
as much as an American can do, but I did some research, and a lot of research actually. Talked to some Persian friends of mine. I live, cool. I love the Museum of Natural History. I took a little bit of inspiration from there.
Yes, use your resources in New York City, like I never did in my 15 years there.
Yeah,
you're usually too busy to go to museums. You're like Saturday.
I love Museum of Natural History. So his mask is, I would say, because I figured, okay, just, I mean, a lot of it was just before I even, got into this story, it's figure out who the characters were. And it kind of writes itself after that. It's like, so again, when he gets there, he's pretty penniless. You don't want to have this, it's kind of something he'd have to make himself. He just wore,
and
like, a
then
little fez
he's
type of thing,
doing street magician stuff.
Yep.
Is this all stuff that you just kind of made up in your mind?
I made it all up. And again, everything, if he's a street magician with no money, so he uses sand and clothes, essentially all his stuff. But then obviously once he gets hired by the Shah, he started, his wardrobe gets a little bit nicer, his resources and stuff. But he's not a bad guy yet. He's one of those guys, he doesn't realize how genius he is and how special he is. But he kind of has low self-esteem and stuff. And he's just thrilled to pretty much just anybody who's just to have a friend, the people that like they're not. So that's why he's fiercely loyal to the people that are just kind of letting him in, because he's so used to being shunned.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at how, like, I don't know, not in control he was in a way. Like, he's very like, oh yes, your majesty, where the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera is kind of probably like F authority, I am the authority.
Very arrogant, very like superiority thing. But you can see hints of it there, little bits of it. There's little cracks in the dike, so to speak. He'll start seeing it. He loses sometimes, and towards the end, when he's just like, you can see even like he starts to be able to kind of turn it on and off a little bit. And obviously he loses his mind by the time he's in Paris.
And then let's see, tell me about what was it called? The Justice Room. That's kind of like your wrestling ring of the Phantom of the Opera world.
Oh, is that the one where he's fighting in the pit and stuff?
Yeah.
So that was, you used to hear about, like, a lot of soldiers did that just in another. I mean, who knows how accurate it was, but I read some stuff about a lot of just the soldiers, taking out their aggression. They just like to spar. That's where they kind of sorted out differences sometimes. So they did this, and obviously the guy he's up against is, a lot stronger, a lot more experienced than him. He has no chance, but Eric's a lot smarter.
Yeah.
So he kind of just uses. It kind of reminds me of like, in Return of the Jedi. When Luke has to fight the Rancor, and he throws a skull and it drops the door.
Yeah.
Which always bugged me, because shouldn't he use the Force, and like, why? Like, couldn't he just levitate a rock towards it? Or
I know now in all the new Star Wars shows, they're just like, pick up every rock around me and throw it. It's like, what?
And also, how did he know the door was going to drop? Like, say I threw a rock at my light switch.
Yeah.
That's not going to turn on. That's not going to make my lights go off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or like your garage. Say you smash your garage door opener. That's not going to make your garage door.
That's funny. I do love that, like, even though it's totally very different than the original story, it is kind of very faithful to it if you put all the pieces together. You definitely have a lot of Easter eggs in there. There's barrels, there's scorpions, and
tons of it.
And of course the origins of the torture chamber is like a big part of this story.
Yeah, like when
and it was, I thought it was great the way you put it together, and you really see how it works from this.
Thanks. Yeah, there's a lot of, and also, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Lon Chaney Sr. So a lot of that, this is very detail oriented, but a lot of his hand gestures, like if you watch a Chaney movie, not even a horror one, just any of them, his hands are so expert, were characters unto themselves. So like, I did a lot of screenshots.
His parents were deaf.
They did a school for the deaf.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of Chaney hands positions in there, because
especially, I don't know. This is another question I have, but at the end, there's a chapter of a Phantom of the Opera adaptation, and there's a lot of Chaney inspiration in this.
Yeah, sure. The shadow.
But it's like note for note the book, even though there's a lot of Chaney in the artwork.
Well, the Chaney was originally supposed to be very, very loyal to the book, like super loyal. And
they changed it a lot before it was released.
Yeah, because didn't they switch directors, who was like a Western director, because Chaney wasn't getting along with.
Yeah, the whole ending is different. They cut out the graveyard scene, so we're never going to see it because it's lost to time.
It's like London After Midnight.
It's such a
That's another lost one.
Oh, do I have a Basil of that? I thought I had one. Oh, yeah, here we go. Haha.
I love that.
There we go. So, did you ever get past chapter 1?
I never
What's going
did.
on with this?
I know this is
Because
one
I
of those
want it.
ones. Like it's one of those ones life took over. It was.
Yeah,
I did the whole
definitely clear.
chapter.
This is straight from the Chaney movie.
Yep, totally.
You
Is
know.
it the one where the guy's hanging and stuff too? And then even
Yeah.
like the ballet dancer shadows.
Yeah, but
That
they're
was
the
a
real ballet dancers. You actually have La Sorelli and little
yeah.
James, and how do they like these characters? They don't show up in any adaptation of this.
No,
It's crazy.
no, and that comic, that version, it's as far as I know, it's 100% loyal to the thing. You had someone completed it. Was that your last guest who did the
Oh, well, she
or
did
a couple
half of
guests
it.
ago?
She did half of a graphic novel that's she successfully kickstarted, so it's going to go into print.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, wait, I have a
I
fly.
need
I
to
have a
check that out. I need to pick that up.
Yeah. Well, it's not out yet, but you can, see all the art on her websites and stuff. Yes, my first guest, Becky Laugh, she's
Uh,
supposed to come and watch the show later and hopefully join the conversation.
oh, cool.
But yeah, it's streamlined a little bit, but it is very book accurate. Like,
Yeah.
it skips a lot of the manager stuff and stuff that just like would be boring to show in a comic book, I
Yeah.
guess,
Some
which is
stuff's
very
not
cool.
comic-etic. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, part 1 is done and is going to print, and yeah, but I still want to see the rest of yours.
I
What's going
know.
on with that? Are you gonna
This is
finish
where
it? It never came out, right?
it never came out.
How
I'm
did you
pretty
do more than chapter 1?
the chapter 1 is done. I know I thumbnailed out chapter 2, and then just like I'm working full time with the
Yeah,
family and
yeah,
other and
yeah.
this and that, and this just kind of fell through the cracks. But it's funny because that was even hand drawn on comic book boards too, and it's so fun. Like now, if I had anything else to do, I'm just gonna do digital, like on my iPad,
Mhm.
because mainly because you don't have to erase
By the way,
anything.
do you have your iPad out, or
I
did you want to try to
do.
do that thing, or
It
we have
was I don't
nobody
know.
watching right now, so it's not a big deal, but
Yeah, I'll do it next time because I still want a crazy day at work in a good
okay,
way,
okay,
but I didn't have
cool,
a chance to sort out that. Yeah,
no
so
problem.
whoever's watching this, I
Yeah,
was trying to
they'll
share
be
my
watching at
screen.
least on the repeat, when it
Okay.
lives on.
No, I'll figure out how to do the hook. My iPad just was not playing nice with my laptop.
Yeah,
So
he was gonna do some live doodles for you guys. What else do I want to talk about in this? The the guy's arm, and then he replaced it with like a lasso
oh
machine. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, he's Shahab, which that means in Farsi, I believe it means like fallen star or something. Like he was one of those guys. He was kind of a little bit inspired by in Son of Frankenstein, Inspector Crow, the guy with one
I'm
arm.
okay. I am admittingly have not really kept up with my monster movies, but I'm changing that this year because I just bought the
Ah, there you
Blu-ray
go.
collection and I'm gonna watch all of them probably in
I
October.
I love Son of Frankenstein. That's probably one of my favorite. I don't know, something about it. It's just so like the monster's just so evil. I don't know. He's just like I like all of them. Bride of Frankenstein's probably the best one, but something just really fun. I'm the one of those rare people that likes the fur vest on the monster.
Uh,
Like I love, but there's a guy who's the inspector, who's and he has one arm. And then like in Young Frankenstein, they spoof it. The guy has the darts in his arm and stuff. But
Man, I
he was
haven't seen
talking
that in a
about
while. That's a
yeah,
good one.
that's another great one. But the inspector was talking about, he would have been a general, but like the monster actually, when the general was a child, the monsters actually tore his arm out of the root, and that's why. That's what the monster actually, he lost his arm because of the monster as a kid. Now, he's this older guy. He's like just a chief of a little small, you know, village police department. But that's what this was kind of like. So I kind of tied it how he lost his arm, and then that was kind of the inspiration when he tells Eric that story, just the pure terror of being just basically, when he's in the jungle, just pretty much waiting to die, essentially, waiting for,
Yeah.
to either, heat stroke or a tiger gets him.
Which
And,
is
almost
also the real inspiration for the torture room.
exactly. And that's where Eric gets the inspiration for, because it always seemed kind of random to me, like in the book and in the movies. In the Lon Chaney one, they did a pretty good job of the torture
Yeah,
room.
that's like one of the only thing
Yeah.
I can think of with the torture chamber.
It's like the
Maybe
Iron Jungle.
that cartoon.
Yeah, and it's in what that is, it's you're in this torture room and there's furnaces in there. So basically Eric is simulating being locked, and it's a room of mirrors. So you look like you're in this infinite jungle, and it's stifling heat, and there's all these animal sounds. You're just waiting. It's just it's mental torture. And then there's a tree there, and it has a noose hanging from it. So ultimately, everyone that goes in there, they lose their mind and hang themselves.
My God, yeah. So one of the big things on this channel on my show is that one of my goals, and I mean not goal, but like something I want to see before I die is a book accurate like series or movie of the Phantom of the Opera, and I just can't believe like nobody's taken on the torture chamber. Why? Like that's one of the most fun parts of the book. Why would you skip that all the time? It's called the torture chamber.
And there's the other fun. I mean, it's so funny. Like that's why his genius. He's such a genius. I mean, the novel itself, it's like it's a mystery novel. It's like there's nothing supernatural. It's like a Sherlock Holmes novel, and it's just brilliant. And as they start to figure out,
you ever read like the Mystery of the Yellow Room or any of those?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just he's an illusionist essentially. And I mean, that's why I always envisioned Trapdoor Maker as like a young adult series. Because it's again, it's like a young.
It's not necessarily for kids.
No, you could. You could make it for young stuff. Maybe he tones back in the killing.
Right.
But there's
there's some dismemberment and things like that.
I like the root. I like the floor that drops down and there's lime on the cover. So like basically it's like the shot in his room. He pulls a switch and anybody except for where he's sitting, it's very like Buster Keaton-esque. The entire ceiling drops down and crushes everything under it, except for him. And it's limestone or lime, which actually essentially dissolves bodies. And when they put like when you bury like the mob when they're trying to bury a body, throw lime and the white powder lime in there. So
I'm trying to find it. It's in here somewhere. So you would say I usually ask everybody what your favorite Phantom of the Opera version is, but I'm guessing that's Lon Chaney for you.
The Lon Chaney, definitely hands down the Lon Chaney. I do like the music from the Andrew Lloyd Webber one though too.
Hey, no, that's usually the gateway into the whole world. Like it's great. If you're a book purist, it's wacky, but like you probably wouldn't have read the book if the musical wasn't out there first,
No, it's funny. I read the book because of the Lon Chaney movie.
Okay.
And then I end up I'm one of those people like there's no like I want to support everything. Anything like the fact I don't care if it's not loyal to the book, like the Andrew.
Oh yeah. One. I mean none of them are. That's kind of the beauty of it. It's kind of like how much can you mess this up, and in what unique ways can you mess this up? That's what's so fascinating about the Phantom of the Opera.
But I will always support people dreamers who go, but somebody did it. Someone did it. It's like I don't understand when people get so mad at remakes. Too, people get livid at remakes, and it's like it's a win. Remakes are win-win. So say even the month. Oh, there you go. Is that it? Oh no, wait. No, that's a different. That's another. That's a different one. There's another one.
There's another one. Yeah,
I think it's later where the ceiling drops down and then crushes everything that's under it. I mean, it never gets anybody, but he's kind of demoing it.
Yeah.
By the way, that globe thing, there's a scene where he's with little girl, and he actually has a globe in like there's like a secret compartment in the globe and you can hide stuff. I actually had that as a kid. We had like a Google globe, took the X-Acto, cut out a country, and that's where we'd kind of hide our booze. I always hid stuff in there. That was like my secret hiding place. So I had a little pin in there. I'd pull up whatever country I had cut out.
We got Mel from My Killer Podcast in the house. Mel, what's your favorite version of Phantom of the Opera? What do you think is the weirdest version of Phantom of the Opera?
Wasn't it like the Robert Englund one?
Yeah, we talk about that a lot here. Phantom of the Paradise as well. Yeah, that's a popular one. Those are pretty weird.
The other one, do you ever see the climax with Boris Karloff?
Yeah. That was supposed to be a sequel.
Opera. Yeah,
I have that somewhere. Where is it? See it? Live editing. Boris. Yeah, it's in this. The Boris Karloff collection. I think that's the only way it was released on DVD. Yes, it was supposed to be a sequel to which one?
The Claude Rains one, probably.
The Claude Rains one, yeah, I think so. Crazy. Yeah, well, the Robert Englund had a sequel too that was scrapped. Did you know about that?
I didn't know that.
Yes. Check this out. I'm so excited to like.
Wait, do you have?
So check this out. So there was the Phantom of the Opera with Robert Englund, and then
Okay.
it was actually sold as a 2-picture deal. And you know how it like bookends in modern time New York City,
Yeah. It just comes.
which is crazy. My favorite thing about this is that it starts at Tower Records, New York City, 1989 or whatever. It's like I think I've been there. And the second, it wasn't very successful, obviously. So the second movie got scrapped and rewritten into Danse Macabre, also
Oh, is
featuring
that?
Robert Englund, and he
But there's no.
plays like a cross-dressing like ballet teacher who kills people. I don't know. I've
So
only seen it once, and I now have the Blu-ray, so I'm excited to revisit it.
that's their climax.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
their.
climax of the 90s.
The one I haven't seen. Have you seen the Charles Dance one? I've not
Of
seen that
course.
one.
You've
Is
never
it? Is
seen
it?
it?
I've
Oh
seen
yeah, it's
bits and pieces.
definitely
Is it
worth it.
good?
Well,
Okay.
okay.
Love
Apparently
Charles
the
Dance.
UK transfer is a lot better. But so okay, where do I start with this? You know, Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical is like the third time it was put on stage as a musical. And
Oh,
it was
really?
originally because he saw okay, no, he saw the Ken, I think he's saw, I forget his name, Ken something, Ken Hall. No, not Ken Hall. That's someone in my documentary. Anyways, there was another one that was being developed by Kopit and Yetsin. It's actually still put on by a lot of theater companies. But he kind of scrapped it because Andrew Lloyd Webber came out first and bigger, and it was just like, well, we'll forget this, you know. So they rewrote it into this mini series. It was a 2-part mini series, so it's really long. It's like 4 hours or something. But it's the only Phantom of the Opera that's ever had parts of it actually filmed at the real opera house.
Oh, really?
So it's like, how has nobody else done this?
Yeah.
And of course, it's Charles Dance, who's like from the Alien movies and like Game of Thrones and stuff now.
Yeah. The younger people know him as from Game of Thrones.
Right. So like
Tywin Lannister.
yeah, I didn't, I waited till that was all over. I'm not really a fantasy person, so I waited till it was all over to binge it.
Yeah.
Um, and every time he was there, I was just like, that's Phantom. Yeah. Burt
Oh, Burt
Lancaster is in
Lancaster.
it.
Yep.
He's sort of the Persian character. I don't know if I want to give you the twist, but
No,
he's
go
not the
for it.
Persian.
Yeah. What's
And
the twist?
well,
You can spoil it.
he's the Phantom's father.
What?
But like the
Wait,
Phantom
wait,
doesn't know that until later in
Okay.
the story. So he's just like, I think he's like the man. He does something at the opera. I don't know if he's the manager there or something like that. But he's like, I'm always watching my son.
Well, didn't in like the Claude Rains one, wasn't it originally written where he was
Yeah,
Christine's
yeah,
father, and then
something
they
like
cut it
that.
out? It got, but
Oh,
then it started
I don't
getting
know
kind of.
why people keep doing that.
I don't know, but then they cut it out. So it's kind of like, and
Yeah,
it's just weird.
they cut it out, so then the movie doesn't really make as much sense.
Yeah. It's like when in Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, because originally the monster Bela Lugosi, the monster was blind and
Okay.
talked, so that's why he's like feeling around a lot. And then
Oh,
when they did a screening of it, and apparently like the audience was laughing and stuff, so they removed any trace of that, because there's some other scenes
oh
where
man.
Lon Chaney's like, no, it's me.
Uh,
But that's one of those other ones I would have loved to
that's
see.
gonna be one I'll be watching later this year for sure. The
That's
other
gonna be
thing
my
I
time
love,
travel. If I could time travel, I'd go back to see movies, and
yeah,
I'd buy my
I'd probably go to
groceries.
see concerts, but yeah, movies is a good idea
Concerts
too.
would be good. Then I'd go buy groceries. I'd go back to like 1950, buy groceries for 20 cents.
Interesting,
Come back
yeah,
to 2022, so you could do
yeah.
all your grocery shopping for like $1.
I'd love to see the original release of the Lon Chaney with like a little live piano.
I've seen that before. So when I used to live in Atlanta. I went to
Hmm.
grad school down there, and I can't remember what theater it was, but there's one of the country's oldest pipe organs, which is called like
Hmm.
Big Mo or Mighty Mo. So
I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
I saw Phantom of the Opera, the Lon Chaney when they had it, and they had it. The music was accompanied. They had some famous pianist doing the live music on that big
But was
pipe
it
organ.
the music that they actually played in the 20s? That's the
I think
question.
it was the original
because
the
that does
original.
exist somewhere. Because
I'm pretty sure he had that. I could be wrong.
where is it? I'm gonna
But
pull
I
out
think he
another
had
one.
the original sheet music for what they played, which is it was just really cool. And at the end, he turned around, like he put this. He had this like a Don Post Phantom
Here
mask
it
he put
is.
on at the end.
So this is an obscure one. Have you ever heard of Wicked Wicked?
No,
So it's not exactly a Phantom of the Opera take, but it's more phantomy than most Phantom movies. So it's this crazy movie from it's from the 70s. It's like a grindhouse picture. But the gimmick was it was shot or it was edited to be two pictures at once. It was called like duo vision. It was some gimmick. So they actually had to make double the movie
and they
because
played it simultaneously.
yeah, so they would have two projectors going simultaneously.
Oh,
And so they finally put it out. You can watch it now on DVD.
Oh,
It's an
wow.
archive collection from Warner Brothers.
That was a precursor to TikTok duets. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It was the old school TikTok in the 70s.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was set in like a hotel, and there's like a guy in a mask killing people in a hotel, and it's very like atmospheric, which is cool because a lot of Phantom, it's all about the atmosphere of the opera house and stuff, and a
Yeah.
lot of them don't have that at all. And it's like a singer that he's obsessed with. So there's a lot of like nods to it, but it's not exactly a Phantom, story. But the thing, the clincher is, at the beginning and end of the movie, you see somebody playing an organ in like the hotel or whatever, and it's kind of the music throughout. And at the end, you see that she's playing the actual original sheet music for Phantom of the Opera
really?
of the 20s musical. And so it exists somewhere in Warner archives, I'm sure. Warner, come on, put that out.
I don't know why people stray so much from the source material.
It's so
But
good.
but it's one of those things, I guess. But part of me that again, it kind of gets talking about the reboot or a remake or something. I look at it. I try to be positive. I look at it as win-win. So say someone's doing say someone you heard they're going to do $100 million Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do it. So half the people will be like, "Oh, why are you doing that? That's terrible." Like it's win-win for fans because the way I see it, say the movie sucks, say it's the worst thing ever, it's going to make all the beloved versions better by comparison, in worst case scenario, it's going to attract new fans because there's going to be people who are going to see ad for didn't even know what Phantom of the Opera was.
Yeah.
And like, oh, they might go check it. So it's in its way helping preserve, the past versions and say it's great.
Every generation has a Phantom, really.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, I guess the last big one was the movie of the musical.
Yeah.
And that's almost 20 years old now. So I was like,
is it really?
Yeah, dude, it came out in 2004, dude.
Yeah,
So
Gerard
two
Butler,
more years. And I'm like, when that came out, I was like, this is cool, but it's not exactly the greatest thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, I'm always for more Phantom, whatever it is.
Yeah,
but
me too.
if it's on a big scale, like once it's out, you're gonna have to wait 20 years for someone else to do a big version again. And so it's about 20 years. Ryan Johnson wants to do it. Just give it to him.
Well, you remember how a couple of years ago Universal was going to do their kind of
the
dark universe,
the dark universe. I was talking about that.
The origins, like that's why Trap Door Maker. That would have been a good Phantom origin, And I also want to see. I'd love a video game.
Well, I think they were gonna put them all in modern day though, weren't they? I don't know. I never watched that Mummy one, the only one that came out. But
the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the only dark universe movie that exists.
Yeah, it's but there was like when you think about it, like the Wolfman, that took place when that came out. That took place in modern times. And,
but what is that? Was that based on a book though? Was there source material for Wolfman?
No, I don't. I mean, just a werewolf thing. It was no, but originally I heard it was going to be like he was always in his mind. He's never even a werewolf, but they changed it.
Well, there is this. I don't know much about it, and probably I should do my research because I'm talking about it live on the internet. But John Legend's supposedly producing a Phantom of the Opera movie set in New Orleans or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Set in contemporary New Orleans. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't heard about that for a while. This article's from 2021, so not too long ago.
Is there an opera in New Orleans?
What
if they
no
did
idea.
Phantom of the Grand Ole Opry? It takes place in Nashville.
I've seen a parody of that. There is something like that
Really?
out there. Yeah, but it's old. It's from like the 70s, I think.
We used to do this thing when I used to work down on Morton Street, and which is right by the river. And the way it was down in the West Village, we actually had a character we created called the Phantom of Morton Street.
It's a song. It's a song. Phantom of the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, that's funny.
I think there was something else though. Yeah, go on.
So we were on like the 8th floor, and the way the acoustics of this street were, so like it was just one of those perfect storms. So like we had a big FedEx shipping tube, and it was kind of a happy accident. I was like, we're on the 8th floor. I was looking out the window one day, and I saw a coworker walking by. So I took the tube, the big shipping tube, and I was like, Brian, you down there? And like he said, and like when he came out, he goes, I told him I didn't. He goes, wait. He said he heard it crystal clear, and he sounded like it was right next to him. So we figured it was like the acoustics of, because it's right at a T intersection. So like basically we experimented. So like we went down. Literally, you could just talk, and the way to build the acoustics were like you could talk in your normal voice, and you'd hear it perfect. It's like the whisper wall in Grand Central. So there's a trade school across the street. So whenever they'd come out for breaks, we just you bored at work sometimes, and we're like, you down there, what do you just start talking to people, and they don't even think to look up. It just sounds like just like
you think that's one of Eric's tricks in designing the opera house?
Maybe, but we were like who is that? We're like, it's the Phantom of Morton Street. And we just started and they were like, come down here, say it to my face. We were just like messing with people because and we hid. It was just the funniest thing, but we did it for like weeks and weeks and weeks.
That's great.
Yeah.
I did find this. This is
the Opry.
Phantom of the Opry from 1983, which apparently is a hosted horror show on Saturday afternoons on the Nashville network.
Oh, wow.
In 83 to 85.
Oh, it's like a show.
So it was like yeah.
I was like, did you ever see them when they made them? I can't remember which Monsters movie it was where they had Cousin Phantom.
Yeah, I have that.
I love Cousin Phantom.
Let's see. See, this is why I have my archive my cave oh,
there it is.
And
he looks like on chain. I can't remember who played him.
Let's see. Monster Go Home or The Monster's Revenge. I forget which movie it is.
Monster's Revenge.
Yeah, so that's on here. The Monster's coming soon from Rob Zombie.
Yes. That's the other thing. It's like people are getting so upset about that, and it's
I know. I don't know why. It's like I don't know. It looks
it's win-win. So say the movie is great. I mean, first of all, he's the biggest Monsters fan of them all. Knows more.
Yeah, come on. His whole career is basically about a Monsters car.
Yeah, and he loves it, and he's been working 20 years to get that made. Like, if someone was going to do. I mean, it's a fan project. If someone's gonna do a fan project, you wouldn't poop on it. But so like say the movie's terrible, which it's not gonna be, but say it is, okay, fine. Your beloved original that's great. But worst case scenario, it's gonna get new fans to go back and check out the Fred Gwynne stuff and say it's great. And it's supposed to be fun. Like I was telling you, Dan Roebuck, who I'm collaborating on, who's playing Grandpa Munster.
I see he's hanging out with Eddie Munster at a convention.
Oh, but yeah. Well, they were actually at Rob Zombie's. He's on tour right now, the Freaks on Parade tour. So I think they were in Indianapolis or something. And because there's what's it called? Days of the Dead. There's that convention.
Yeah, that's where it was.
So Dan's there, and then so they actually went to the show. So they're with Robert. From what I've heard, the movies. I mean, I saw the trailer, and it actually looks like a Basil Gogos painting. Like
kind of, yeah.
It's supposed to be fun, it's like, but it's, I don't know, but it's, but like, I don't know why people get so upset about that. Like,
everyone just always upset about everything. Yeah. It's crazy.
He's making a Monsters movie. Everyone should be applauding that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought I saw it on his Instagram. Let's see.
What, the trailer or
the Day of the Dead thing.
Yeah.
Is that him?
That's Dan.
Oh yeah, I guess
Yeah, that was like
there he
last night
is.
or 2 nights. There's Butch Patrick.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Eddie Munster?
Dan he's still so excited to play Grandpa. I mean, he had this
Yeah,
great
I'll
story.
check
So
it out. You know, I like some of
he would
Rob Zombie's movies, and I like his. I was a big
he's,
fan of
he's
him
an
in the
artist.
'90s for sure. I was a
Dan
White
actually,
Zombie fan
yes, I even love White
before
Zombie.
everything
It's a
else.
great movie.
Which one?
The White Zombie movie, the Bela Lugosi one.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Have
mean,
you seen that? Yeah,
I meant his band White Zombie, but yeah, I think I've
yeah,
seen that too.
that's
The
a great
original.
movie. But what was I saying? Oh, so but Dan, when he was like in the circus as a young child, like he was a clown, and he created a vampire clown called the Count, and he had business
Okay.
cards made. There's pictures of it too. And it's funny because it's kind of like very serendipitous. Like the face paint on the clown actually curls up into like the mustache on the ground. It was really funny because he's like basically been training to play that role his whole life.
Right. Well,
I'm
good.
digging the mustache.
I'll go see it. Like, I mean, if nothing else, it's gonna be on Netflix in October, and I
Yeah,
have Netflix. It's like not a big deal to throw it on for 2.5 hours. Although
yeah.
seems like pretty long for a Monsters movie, but hey,
Is
I'll
that how
give it a
long it
chance.
is?
That's what I heard. I heard it's like an
Yeah.
epic. It's like, why does every movie have to be an epic? What happened to the art of the 90-minute movie? But hey, whatever.
If it's fun, entertaining. I'm one of these. I saw some people. So I was talking to a coworker. Did you see Love and Thunder, the new Thor movie?
Yes.
Like I'm one of those people. I just don't want a movie to be boring. If it's 5 hours long, but I'm entertained, great. Like I don't care if it's good or bad.
And I have
I
a
just want
slide for that because
there you
there's
go.
phantoms in this movie, all over this movie. You
Yes,
saw that, right? The Phantom of the Opera shirt in like half of the movie.
tons of it. Even the Christian Bale character is a bit of a phantom-y.
No, but Tessa Thompson's
She
character
had a
is literally
musical.
wearing a
Yeah,
Phantom shirt for
I
like
love
half
that.
of her scenes.
But I
So
was
it's
talking
like
to a quote.
that's kind of like my what do you call it? Thesis of this show is like even when I'm not looking for phantoms, they find me
Yeah,
especially in pop culture. I love finding phantoms in pop culture. And this is like the latest example of it. This week it's the Thor movie. There's Phantom, the
it's
really useful
everywhere.
group got a really nice check from this one.
It's everywhere. It's one of those things. Like I saw something like you see Mickey Mouse like every day of your life. You see
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse, and
Yeah.
it's just
Someone could
part of
make a show about that.
yeah. This coworker like he's a comic fan. I saw Love and Thunder with a bunch of hardcore comic fans, and we
Okay.
all loved it. My
Yeah, it was
coworker
fun.
thought it was top 5 worst movies he's ever seen.
That's
And I was like,
that's a little extreme.
it was very a little extreme, but I don't care if the movie. I don't even know how long it was. Like I was entertained the whole time, and
It could have
I
been
was engaged.
it was supposed to be a lot longer, but
But like, there's movies that
it was
are
entertaining. Like, are you not entertained? It was funny. It's a
yeah, it
Thor
was funny.
movie.
Like if you can't
Gives
go
you
to
all the things
movies,
you want.
yeah, if you can't go to movies and just enjoy yourself, I mean, it was. I mean, I just loved Taika Waititi stuff. I just love his
Yeah,
sense of
especially
humor.
his directing, but especially his voice for his
Yeah,
character and everything is hilarious.
yeah, his use of music and I mean, everything
Well,
is.
I actually wanted this is a Phantom unrelated question, but you saw a different Thor recently, didn't you?
What? Wait,
Did you not see Thor?
am I forgetting something?
Did you see the the band Thor, or were you seeing the movie Thor?
The movie Thor. Wait,
Did
I
you go
might
to
be
a
having.
concert recently?
I did not.
You didn't see Thor in concert?
No,
Oh, that's what I thought you were. You must have been seeing the movie.
I was talking about the movie Love and Thunder.
No, I know, but I remember when we were trying to schedule this, you're like, I can't, I'm going to see Thor.
Oh no, I was going to see the movie.
Oh, I thought you were seeing like the heavy metal musician.
No,
And I
no,
was
no. I was going
excited
to
about
see.
that.
No, I
There's a
didn't. Is there a
documentary
band
about
called?
him. Yeah,
Oh
he's from
no,
the 80s. He has like B movies that he's made, like Rock and Roll Nightmare, I think it's called. And he's
no. This is
for like bending like a piece of steel on stage and stuff.
no. I'm
Oh
not,
man, I totally misinterpreted that one.
no, this is Thor: Love and Thunder. That's
That's
funny. I
funny,
should make
yeah.
that.
Well, I guess before we move on, let's just wrap up on like, is there
Yeah.
any? How do you feel about this now? Like, 15 years later, here's the other cover.
I look
And
at it. I think the story still holds up. I mean, it's my art is just as an artist. Like, I mean, I'm just a different kind of artist now.
Yeah,
Like my
yeah,
style.
okay.
It's like, it's so funny.
So you look
Like,
back on this and you're like, oh, that's old school.
yeah,
Me.
yeah,
Okay.
big time. Especially just because there's, and you see I think it's good story. Basically, I did it as shooting boards because I was doing it from an animation director's point of view. So, but I think the story holds up. I think, I'd probably, the dialogue I might tweak, but just the art, I'm just like, I make an effort to learn. I love getting out of my comfort zone on stuff like that. That whole book. There was a teacher I had, an art teacher one time, and it's funny. Like, I didn't do well in art classes. Like, I was actually just at my parents' house a couple months ago, and I was finding all these report cards, and I'm realizing all these art classes. I was getting C's and D's, and it was funny.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm a decent artist. Like, I don't think art should be
Trigger
graded
warning.
there you go. Like, I don't think art should be graded. Like,
yeah.
It's because it's 100% subjective. But like,
Sure.
all the art, I don't know. But there was one art teacher I had in grad school, and she was like, she had this term like the shiny red apple. Like, basically, we get so content with our shiny red apple, like our comfort zone. So she's like, always get out of the comfort zone. So this, I proactively was like, I'm going to do this in a different style. So like the whole crosshatch stuff. But I'm just a different artist now. So
that's fair. Didn't you have a story about the text of this?
The cover I did, the text.
Didn't you have to like erase every
Oh
page
no,
or
yeah.
something?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm still traumatized. So
your trauma story. Let's
there's some
go
trauma.
to therapy. It's therapy time.
This is some first world problems, but it shows how I've just become, in the past 5 years, just actually all of my art now is on my, Procreate with the Apple Pencil. But it's so classic comic book boards, they're 11 by 17. So it's drawn in pencil, and some, like sometimes you draw on like a blue thing, which then like when you scan it, it doesn't pick up the blue. But I did this in number 2 pencil, and I have very heavy hands, meaning so like my pencils are not easy to erase, and I don't, because I'm drawing and inking, so I can be a little looser on the pencils. But anyway, nonetheless, I still have to erase all the pencils. And the book has, this book here is 164 pages.
Yeah,
so
like
when you miss, when you don't,
it's a lot of art
divided. Yeah, we're at least 150 something. So having to erase all that. I actually had a coworker.
About 137 pages.
Yeah,
it's still
and then
a lot
there's
of
other
art.
than the Phantom of the Opera ones.
Yeah, plus the Phantom stuff. It's more.
Yeah. So, and it all had to be erased. So there's actually a coworker of mine. He actually I credited him as an eraser. And I think that's the first eraser credit in comic books. I don't know if it's in this one or one of the the original releases. I think
there's some Basil.
Yeah, that was an ad for his books in the Rondo. So this
Rondo, I actually voted for that this year.
Oh, nice. I love the Rondo awards.
Yeah, I have to you have to copy and paste it into an email. And
it's not easy.
No, it's not.
So this is now this was in Diamond, and this was in Barnes. It's funny. It shows how hard it is for independent publishers. It might be. I think it was in one of the original ones. But there was. So for an independent publisher, I got this into Barnes and Noble stores and their website. But like when you work with a Barnes and Noble, you actually have to. They have like a list of like 3 or 4 preferred warehouses that you have to work with. So you have to sign a contract with the warehouse, and that's like, it was a few $100 a month just to have that storage there. So that's why, to get it into Barnes and Noble, it can return unsold stuff. So if you're an independent,
yeah, I used to work at Barnes and Noble. I know all about that.
Yeah, so it's like I was paying, I'm just making this number up. I was paying $300 a month for the warehouse storage for Barnes and Noble. But if the book's not making that, because it's like I'm a full-time job and stuff, so I don't, I'm not like promoting it or anything.
Yeah,
and this is way before social media. So it was like, it's kind of almost too expensive. But
yeah, you're just about the cusp of social media, I'd say.
Yeah, like I know MySpace was around, and then Facebook started getting big. But now it's so right when the pandemic hit, Heavy Metal magazine, they launched a thing called Virus Comics, which is all creator-owned comics, and it's all print on demand. So
Hmm.
that this was one when they launched. So this actually signed a thing with them. So this is available on heavymetal.com and the virus thing.
Oh yes, that was going to be one of my other questions.
Yeah.
Where
So
can we find it
which is kind of
now?
cool. So it was one of those ones where this is cool, like this to be. I'm so honored to be
Is
part of.
this it?
That's it. If you
Graphic
go to
novels. Horror?
yeah, you can just search it. Maybe chapter maker. I hope it's still up there.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Let's see. How do I search?
Oh yeah, go to the Sherlock Holmes magnifying glass.
I can't see it. Here we go. Trapdoor. No results.
What is it? 2
Uh-oh.
words. We might be. This is. I'm live shamed.
Let's see. Virus trapdoor.
Oh wait, is
maker.
virus? Go to comic books. Sorry.
I think I found it.
Wait, let me.
No, this is the virus edition. But it's
someone's
from
selling it?
another website.
If you go to comic books, go back on heavy metal.
Yeah.
Go to
All
comic
books.
books. Yeah, and then
maybe it's a space opera.
And then that's so weird that it's not.
Maybe
they have like hundreds. So now, let me.
Did it sell out? No, it's printed.
I know it's print on demand.
Oh, there's more. I don't know.
Let's see.
Uh-oh. You might have to do a repressing.
And I have to. Wait, let me go to my website because there's a link to it.
Oh, okay. I have your website. I can go to your website.
Which I need to update big time.
Breg.
I've not updated that in like 5 years.
Oh, but it came out since then, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. So if you go to
graphic novel.
Yeah, now go to heavy metal. There's a link there. Let's see what happens.
Purchase.
And heavymetal.com.
It just goes to the original.com of it. Oh, it's gone, dude.
Oh no. Okay.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, good to know.
Well,
I don't even see virus up there. Maybe the whole line.
I don't know.
Let me see. Click here to purchase. Oh wow. Visit the marketplace. That's so weird.
Uh-oh, it's rare now. I'm gonna sell my copy, my extra copy, if anyone wants it for $100.
Well, it had a different cover and stuff too. I mean, it had the same cover.
Oh, really?
It had like the virus logo.
Right, because this one says Neck Bolt Publishing on it.
Yeah, the other says, but I don't even see virus comics up there anymore. That's crazy.
Is the whole thing is gone?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Heavymetal.com.
Well, yeah. How about this? You search for that, and I'll run some ads.
Okay.
And then we'll go into the second part of the show.
Cool.
All right. Found a Phantom, brought to you by Vonesper Studios, which is me. I'm promoting myself.
Are we back?
What's the verdict?
I could not find it.
Oh
but
no,
it's fine. I don't know, but who knows?
You gotta go to eBay now.
Yeah.
It's time to reprint, buddy.
No, well, the funny thing is, I still have another crate of them. I should bust those out at the next convention.
Yeah,
I have a crate of the originals, and
Be
I
like,
still have a bunch of the.
what would you call it? Vintage, or it's out of print, and rare.
No, it's funny. I still go on eBay every once in a while, and I look it up, and there's people selling them for like wait, I wonder.
Let's go.
Kind of funny, but people are selling for like ridiculous everything, not just mine, but like ridiculous amounts of money. Like, let me see.
This is a good segue because I wanted to talk about my eBay binge last week.
Uh-oh.
Well, let's see. Let's
check. Yeah, like there's a bunch. There's something for like $100 on. Like, is anyone buying those? Like, if you go, just go.
Yeah, they might just be listed there forever. But $150 for issue 3.
Yeah, like that's.
But that's a good question. Is anyone actually buying it?
I don't know.
Wow, this edition is $167. I don't know.
Why would someone put that knowing no one's gonna buy it for that much?
It's not the bolt neck one. Which one is this?
That looks like the virus one, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
It popped up in a different window. That's why.
Wow, there's a lot on there. That's kind of funny.
Dude, maybe you should put some of yours on eBay and make some of that money.
Maybe. Do you want to do some show and tell? Oh, you said some eBay stuff. Right?
Yeah, so I mean, this is a good segue. Let me get my slide.
I have a bunch of show and tell stuff. Some say too.
New editions. Well, new editions / show and tell. You ever have one of those days where you're like, let me just go to eBay and see what's out there this week?
Yeah, I have that often.
And you just type in Phantom of the Opera, and you're like, ooh, that's $5. Ooh, that's and eventually you got like 20 packages coming. Well, that's what I did last week.
Would you get any goodies yet?
I got.
I always do like vintage Lon Chaney, vintage Phantom of the Opera. There's like the old tobacco silks, which I keep thinking.
Yeah, some of these things are a little vintage. Let's get organized. So I got well, this is from 1997, not so vintage, but it's a audiobook version.
Wait, is that the cover? What was in the cover art of that? Is that like the Neil?
I don't know. It's just kind of some, stock art, I think. Yeah, it's not necessarily Phantom related. Let's talk about toys. I got is this new?
That's the new Herbert Lom one. Yes,
the new. I didn't know this was out. That's why eBay's good, because it's already
just
sold
came
out on the
out
website.
like really recent. Migo's killing it because they're decent. They're like under $20, and they're they're good.
I got this for like less than 30, I guess.
Did you get the Lon Chaney? Oh yeah, see it back there behind you. The Lon Chaney one on the wall. The you have a couple of them. You have the Red Death one and
So I got that. I didn't know I didn't have this.
A little big
because I have like the whole collection above me, and then plus the Phantom Wrestling one. So I guess I was missing the Red Death one. I didn't know about that, so I picked that up.
I love that. So I collect vintage Star Wars. I don't have it because I have the whole series, but like I'm just a vintage Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I have some of the toys from the 80s in the basement here.
Yeah, I have those on my display in my room. So my two, I think the greatest lines of all time are Star Wars, and then I love the Remco Mini Monsters, the one that you have up there. I can see the bottom of it on your wall in the upper left corner, where it's like right. You point now to the left.
I don't know. I think my mirror,
go to screen left a little bit. Yeah, screen left. The one on screen left, upper left corner. Right. You're pointing at it.
The old school one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Remco. Yeah, that one's from the 80s. I love that.
They had them. I just love the packaging, and I remember the commercials for those. But they had the regular non-glow, then they had the glow version, and then they had the glow version with.
Oh, really?
I prefer the non-glow ones, like that one you have.
This one is
it is glow.
This is glow in the dark. Yeah.
They have the glow, and then they had the glow.
I don't know if it still works, but
it does a little bit. And then behind them on the card, they had like whatchamacallit, like a orange and yellow like burst. So there's 3 different.
So there's different editions of this. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's the non-glow.
Great, I gotta spend more money now.
Yeah, I know. You have to get it. I have the entire line. God, I love those.
Yeah, this was so cool because I mean, new stuff is great, but like, dude, man, from the 80s, this is
Yeah.
like you would buy this with your GI Joes, you know?
You know what's funny? That I mean, the fact that like 1925 when it came out, we're almost 100 years out, and they're still making new Lon Chaney
I
stuff.
know. Yeah,
Like the
dude.
fact it's
It's never gonna
crazy.
end, and that's how part of the thrill. It's like, dude, you could just every month look up Phantom of the Opera and some new shit is gonna pop up.
So here's a segue. So this Remco also made these the mini mod. It was the same. This is the
Nice.
Phantom one. This is like my holy grail toy thing.
When did that come
It-
out?
Same time, like 80, 81. But
Mhm.
these were local. So like when the little one, the one that you just had, the little 3 3/4 ones,
Yeah.
those came out. So those were all of them were everywhere.
Mhm.
And then this scale, same company and stuff, and these had kind of like a little bit bigger than
I
Migos.
love the mask. That's
Yeah,
cool.
the only ones I had that were ever at the Toys R Us were they had the Frankenstein, which I have all those in the box, and the Frankenstein, the Mummy, and you see the Dracula. Every once in a while, you see the Wolfman, but there's a Creature from the Black Lagoon one, and
Nice.
these were like only available in California or something. I remember I
Oh
bought this
wow.
years ago, but I love that. And
Yeah,
my
this
favorite,
is
like I still have the Frankenstein one. It's just like my favorite. It's like my original one. Like I bought these as an adult. But
yeah. This one, it looks vintage, but it came out in 1990. This is another glow in the dark.
oh yeah, those are the
So
marks. The marks
that's
had
a
like
replica sort of the sculpture that I had up there before.
yeah. So that's Uncle Milton, I think. Is that the brand that made that? Is that Uncle
Uncle
Milty?
Milton, yep, you know your toys, man.
Yeah. So Marks made these, and like I don't know. I think in the '60s, and there was different. They weren't glow. They were like different colors of plastic, and then so
Yeah.
these are the molds.
So it's the same molds and they just
Yeah.
reproduced them.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
actually
I mean, it
painted
looks-
mine.
that looks
I bought the
cool.
Uncle Milton ones because you get those.
Now I gotta see if it
whatever.
actually glows in the dark. I gotta put it in some light for a while.
Yeah.
See
I'm
if
a
it
sucker
works.
for anything glow in the dark. I still am.
Yeah. So those are my toys. I got a record. You know, I love my weird ass phantoms, and this is one's a weird ass phantom.
I
Phantom
love
of the
that art.
Organ. How
I've
cool.
seen that.
Oh, and by the way, check this out. Where does it say? Where does it say? Yeah, keep talking while I find it.
Let me see what else.
Oh, okay. Not quite Basil, but close enough. The liner notes are by Forrest J. Ackerman.
Oh, cool. Well, that's a good segue. It's funny. The thing I have in my hand.
Oh.
I don't know if I don't know if you've ever seen this. So, Forrest J. Ackerman. He's one of the publishers of Famous Monsters.
Yes.
Basil
did all the cover.
Yeah, Basil did all the cover. So he years ago I think it was in the '90s. They sold rings. These and Lon Chaney in the 1920s, the big press release you'd always see was there was a lot of phrase, "Don't step on that spider." It might be Lon Chaney. So they sold in the '90s. Forrest Ackerman sold a replica, or it's not a replica, but they had a spider ring. If you open it up, let me see if I can do it without. And there's actually pieces of Lon Chaney's makeup because Forrest Ackerman was a huge Lon Chaney fan. That kind of got him into movie. Let me put my glasses on. Pardon me. But there's actually pieces of Lon Chaney's makeup inside the spider thing.
Wow.
Poison
Like
thing. Like a
like
little
from his face, or like what is it sourced
from his makeup kit. So like at one, so Forrest Ackerman, he had before he passed away, he had they call it the Acker Mansion. You could go to his house. People go to his
I've heard
house
about that. Yeah.
And he had like all the. I mean, he had like the original King Kong armature. There you go. I wouldn't break it. So inside, so he had like one of Lon Chaney's makeup sticks. So that's like those little tidbits of Lon Chaney's makeup, and so they sold these through Famous Monsters. Him and then like some lawyer, and then this is a mummy one, the Boris Karloff, and behind there's actually a piece of string from some of the original mummy wrappings from the movie.
Oh my god.
So they say.
Yeah, of course. That's a good gimmick.
Yeah, but I mean, but Forrest Ackerman did have, he had a strip of the mummy stuff. I mean, he had like everything. I mean, he had.
Yeah.
People would go.
I've heard about that.
And people would go to steal because he wouldn't have it behind glass. So people would like steal stuff.
Welcome to the stream, Carter. Hey, if anyone's in the chat and wants to like ask some questions, go right ahead.
Let me see. I showed you this last night. 1925.
Oh yeah, that's incredible.
Edition. I'm actually gonna watch. I'm gonna do something cool live on your live stream. I'm actually going to light this book on fire and destroy it in front of.
Oh my
I would do
god!
that. I've always wanted to do.
You could burn some trapdoor makers.
Well, I always wanted to do, like the unboxing videos. I've always
Yeah.
wanted just to freak out people, like get vintage Star Wars figures, carded figures, and unbox vintage toys just to piss people off.
Oh yeah, you want to do it? Should we do an unboxing?
So this is just rip it apart.
Oh my god!
This
one-
is. Have you seen this book, the Neil Hildebrandt? Where he had these
Yes,
really
I have
beautiful
that.
paintings. I love it. Like he's unmasked too. I always like that you is.
Wait, yeah, I'm gonna make you big for a second.
Okay. And that's a cool picture.
Oh.
There's the Persian.
Yeah, I actually have.
Oh, you have like a
Wait.
bigger one.
Wait, let me see your cover. Oh
This
man,
is like
I have a
almost
different
like
one.
This is like a.
I have this one.
This is like a kid's.
This is a hardcover.
Oh, you have like a deluxe one.
But I also have a soft cover version of it.
Oh.
But it's both the same cover.
Man, this is cool. Look at
yeah, this is some of the coolest Phantom art ever in this.
That's cool. Like, look at that.
Yeah. Did you show this one already?
Oh yeah, yeah. I did not show that one.
Chapter 1, man. Yes, the Phantom is unmasked in chapter 1.
Yeah, look at that. Man, this is. I haven't looked at this in years. Man, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is a great one. I mean, the text is whatever. It's the book, you know.
That was the first time like I saw like what I think he might have looked like. Like that's if you look at that like
a real black mask.
Yeah.
That's another detail everyone always gets wrong.
Here's another thing.
I love these. Oh, look at the back of the hardcover editions.
Oh wow.
Cool.
Is that like embossed?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Here's a model. I painted this.
Wow.
This is one of my other favorite things. I don't know who sculpted it. It's like I can't remember who, but this is the paper
When's that
user.
from? Do you know?
This was from. I mean, it's in the past. Maybe like 12 years ago or something like that.
That's recent history in Phantom.
Yeah. This was my first Phantom model. I painted. This was Monsters in Motion. I bought it.
Oh, cool.
They're called. You can't say the term anymore, but I think they're called midget monsters.
I have.
And then I painted this. This is a little kit.
Someone bought this custom for me.
I've seen that. That's cool.
You've seen this?
I feel like I've seen.
No. This is
It's like a kit.
I'm sorry. I think this is Wolfman did this. I think.
But it's like
I'm getting all my Phantoms confused. I think so. Either way, it's freaking cool.
That's right.
Here's my little Phantom friend. Yeah.
This is another favorite Phantom thing. So at Phantom, did you go to Phantom Con?
No, but I thought about it.
It was cool. I met some people there I'm still friends with.
Because that's when I was trying to do this show originally when it was the Phantom phenomenon. I was like, well, I could justify this because I'll make it a part of my show.
It was fun. It was really fun. So
are they still doing that?
I don't know if they are.
I don't think it was that successful, was it?
No, it was fun. It was such a nice crowd. Everyone was so nice.
I imagine as a promoter, they probably lost some money on that one.
Yeah, I think they did. But so this one girl came up and her name was Sarah. I think she made a trapdoor maker.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's your Phantom. I mean, it's got a different color mask.
She showed it to me, and I was like, I signed hers and stuff. I was like, can you make me one of those? Can I commission? I commissioned her to make one because I was so impressed. The fact that like she went and made this thing and brought it. I mean, it's really well
I should commission her to do that. Do you know who she is? Can we shout her out?
I bought this like I'm sure I have her email still. Her name is Sarah.
Okay.
So,
Sarah, come on the show.
Yeah, but she made this and
that's insane.
Still one of my favorite things. I think
it's like a plushie of your design.
I know. Like that was my first like someone that like fan art, I guess, but so well made too.
Yeah. Let's see. I found this. This is a postcard I found on eBay from 1967. That's why I thought it was cool.
Is that like a walk around, or is that like from a wax museum or something?
I'm not sure, but it's from Universal Studios.
I think that's one of the walk around dudes.
He's alive. The Phantom of the Opera still walks the streets of the Universal Studios upper lot.
That's cool. I like the top hat on the Phantom. Can I see that again?
It looks like a wax
figure,
though.
Some of those walk around, they call them the walk around characters. Like it's someone who's there's the old
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
could be a guy in a mask.
Yeah, because there's the Frankenstein masks are cool. They were like it looked like Boris Karloff.
This is, I don't know, but it must be a short play that someone wrote called The Pinch Penny Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
I'll discover more later on when I actually read it. But it's pretty short. And this is like I'm pretty excited about this
that's
one
funny.
because it's like it's new, but it's vintage styled, and it's a VHS of the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
But
what version is that?
it's
Oh,
Lon
look at that.
Chaney.
Do you recognize that? So that see that like that the red pig looking thing that
Yeah, that's from the
that's the doorway from that set.
Yep. It says
Love that
an
thing.
all-time horror classic is brought to new life, a unique new cut to showcase this silent masterpiece. So they re-edited it,
Oh.
probably between the versions, with a live score performed by Piper Harrow and the Kings of Herrings, a daring musical duo from innovative experimental music label Hidden Center Sound and Vision, a limited edition collaboration from Magnetic Magic Rentals and Cannonball Roar's home video. So it's actually a VHS.
Oh, what's that card? What's kind of funny about those are all public,
Has a digital download. Yeah, it's public domain, so
public
you can do
domain,
whatever
like
you
the
want
movies,
with
like
it.
Nosferatu. All those silents are public, and like you could go release that if you wanted.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know where they would get the prints because I think you can probably copyright new prints of it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure how that works, but I mean, this is just cool. I can't wait to watch it.
I would love, have you heard of Hot Toys like that?
I don't know. Have I? What's
They
that?
do like the really high end, like Sideshow distributes their stuff. They do like the really high end 12-inch or 6 scale figures.
Okay, I've probably seen them.
Yeah. I mean, if you just Google like Hot Toys, Jack Nicholson Joker. I mean, they even have a thing called parallel rolling eyeball thing. Like you can actually move the eyeballs back and forth.
Oh wow.
They look really real. I would love to see
Toys now are just incredible. They're not for kids anymore, man.
Here's a question there. I don't
know much about Phantom, but like the other Universal monsters, you guys have any recommendations on where to start?
Yes.
That's more of a Pete question.
Start at the beginning. So
yeah, I'm gonna watch them in chronological order.
Yeah. So it was in
I guess Dracula,
the original Frankenstein, and then the Mummy came
Invisible
out. Invisible Man, and
Bride.
then I think Bride. That was 35.
Yep.
And then
there's
after
30
Bride?
more after that.
Yeah, but the main ones, Dracula is like some people think it's kind of slow. Even the original Frankenstein's kind of slow, but it's still wonderful.
Mhm.
So those Bride of Frankenstein, still one of the greatest movies of all time. Wolfman, you guys see that? I love the Mummy. That's one of my favorites. Just the ones you've heard.
Pretty much watch all of
them. Watch all of them. The Invisible Man. Then they start getting like
on 4K Blu-ray. I don't know if these are 4K,
Yeah.
but I know they're new transfers. So
And then if
HD,
you like-
whatever that means.
like another one of my favorite, which is Abbott Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Yes, I mean I'm excited to watch those. Like, why was there never an Abbott and Costello meets the Phantom of the Opera, man?
I know.
Like all these discs have like 5-6 movies on them, and then the Phantom just has one because there's only one of them. They didn't even put the original Lon Chaney on here. I don't know why.
I know. Well, I don't think they owned it.
But it's public domain,
Public
so why not?
domain.
They can still release it on.
Yeah.
want
And then, I mean, watch Svengoolie if anybody watch it on MeTV on Saturday nights. They're starting to do more to Universal things again.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a guest on Joe Bob recently, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I gotta
He's
watch
great.
that still.
Then they do a thing afterwards now. It's called Sven Tooney.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's the Tooney. There's like a puppet. The guy who does like they have morning cartoon shows, but they do it. They watch like the old Warner Brothers, but now they have the tuna fish puppet Tooney dressed up as Svengoolie.
Oh my god.
And they'll go through a movie in 30 minutes. So like they'll pick any vintage movie and then they'll kind of like, yeah, Svengoolie is awesome. And then they'll do Sven Tooney though, and then basically they'll narrate it. They'll it's like the Cliff's Notes of a movie as
That's
they go
cool.
through it. And so yeah, it's fun.
Let's see. I don't have much here, but I figure this could be a new segment every week. Phantom news. Do you have any
Nice.
Phantom news?
I don't.
This is a call out to my audience. If you're watching it now or watching it later, send me Phantom news because I just have only so many hours of the week to do these shows.
Phantom news. We had some news. We found out live that my book is no longer on
Yes.
heavymetal.com.
News. You can't get this trapdoor maker unless it's
Not
for
best
like
news.
100. I'm glad I got mine years ago because I'm not spending $167 on it. Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. Next time we'll do it. Next time I'm on, we'll do
Well,
an
I do
art
have an extra
giveaway.
copy, so
Well, I have the original art, or I'll draw
Yeah.
a picture of anything.
that's
You get a free
right.
pit. Like we'll do some kind of raffle thingy.
So
and
you
we'll
heard
give
it
away a
here
piece of-
first. Next time Pete comes on the show, we're gonna do a giveaway.
An original Xerox piece of her. It'll be
Original and Xerox. That sounds like an oxymoron. I do have some.
It's an autographed digital
There you go.
version.
I'm not gonna play it because I think
what's
Angelo Webber will sue me. But there was a
that the new
performance of
Christine?
All I Ask of You on Good Day New York on July 13th, and somebody, fan of the opera, put it on YouTube for us, so you can watch that. Of course, go see Thor because that's Phantom news
I'm just gonna type Phantom of the Opera and
news.
see if there's any. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That's a good
What
idea.
happens?
I should have thought of that. Duh.
And what did Phantom of the Opera?
What was the other thing I had? Oh yeah, I loved this. You can now. There's now Broadway series Phantom of the Opera Peloton classes. If you have a Peloton, man, that Broadway team, they work hard, still getting in the news.
No, it'd be fun. I have a friend. He does like when he goes jogging, he has this thing. It's basically a zombie chase. So you're listening to it, and it's like and it's like a workout. But they should do like a Phantom one where you're jogging. You know, it's like as if you're being pursued. It's kind of like when you did the Google Maps or Google.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna get there soon. Because did you find any Phantom news?
I did not. It was all the new Christine.
Yeah. So there's a new Christine, I guess, on Broadway, huh? Already? Wasn't there a new one like recently? I can't keep track of it. So yes, guys, send me news and then I will put it on the show because sometimes I miss things. Like I didn't even know this Herbert Lom figure came out until it was sold out and I had to get it on eBay. Which luckily
by the way, if you go to Nightmare Toys, that's I buy some stuff from her, from Christy.
I know. Yeah, I've talked to her before.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they have really good prices. They always have everything in stock. And it's a small business.
Trying to get on her show on her podcast to promote my documentary.
She has a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always I've gotten quite a few things.
Shout out. Where are they located? I know there's like
I think they're in Las Vegas. Trick or Treat. Also, what's kind of cool, Trick or Treat Studios.
Let's look up Phantom and see if anything comes up.
Oh, they have a lot. With Trick or Treat Studios.
Oh yeah. Wow. So a lot of these toys that I have.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Phantom.
There's a Rob Zombie Phantom's Creep.
Hey, check out. Go to Trick or Treat Studios. That's who actually Dan Roebuck and I were collaborating on some stuff that Trick or Treat's gonna be distributing. But they're like, I mean, they're phenomenal. Just stuff they're doing. Like they have like a man, the Conrad Veidt. They have a mask of the man who laughs. Like they're doing Mask of the Silent stuff. Nice.
Yeah, they do good stuff. I don't masks are kind of where one of the things I limit. Yeah. Like I don't have that collection, but
they're doing.
If you want them, here they are.
Their toys though are stellar. Like they have a cool. Look at that bust is great.
Oh, I think I
Christmas
have.
Ornament.
I think
I'm gonna order that bust actually.
Let me see.
That Christmas ornament's great.
What's that one? Hunchback. Okay. Gothic opera coat. Okay.
But they're doing like
they have.
I
think I have this guy. Now. Oh shit! Sorry, my earphone came out.
There's a happy Phantom.
Reaching into my cave. Is this Trick or Treat? Yeah, I have a Trick or Treat.
Oh, there. Oh, is that the bust or the?
Yeah, it's the mini bust.
Oh, that's bigger. Wait, how big is that? That's cool.
It's pretty small. I mean, like compared to my hand.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna order that. Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. It was like $20-something.
Yeah. They have a cool
Cheney Entertainment.
There you go. They have a cool Carla Frankenstein statue there now. I'm like, the prices are great. It's like,
Yeah, there's never a lack of Phantom things to buy, people. It's everywhere. Okay, I think that's all the Phantom news we have. Let's see what we got out here. Speaking of Rob Zombie, if Vincent's on the... Oh, you missed it. We talked about that.
I love it.
Yes, go check it out for sure. His friend is in the movie.
It's just, I mean, it's just because I know how anybody who's such a fan of the Munsters, and he's went and did it. So
I hope there's an Uncle Phantom in it, because then I can talk about it on my show.
But everybody, I know, like Dan, who is Grandpa, is just like, I mean, he's a huge Munsters fan. I mean, he has this phenomenal Munsters collection. Like he has Fred Gwynn, who actually, who's the original Herman, who actually was a children's book author too. Actually, he drew there's a self-portrait of Fred Gwynn. Dan has a Fred Gwynn drawn Herman Munster in his collection.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who's in the movie and behind is just like huge fans of it.
Okay, let's segue into my new segment, Book Club, where I'm going to discuss The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Larue, chapter by chapter. So today is going to be the prologue. No, it's the preface. Is that what it's called in this version?
I'm not sure. I don't even know how to pronounce. I don't know how to pronounce either of those, by the way. Is it preface or preface?
That's a good question as well.
Prologue or prologue?
I know, right?
It doesn't really come up in conversation very much.
I've been reading the Essential Phantom of the Opera. I don't know, there's different translations out there, but this one's very highly annotated and lots of cool notes in it. So there's our good friend Gaston, and the preface. I don't know.
Preface. It's like the Batman villain. It's preface.
Yeah. So what's your history with the book? I guess if that's even a question you can answer. Yeah,
I can't remember the first time I read it. I think I read it I bought like a paperback of it, just like a novel
I collect cool versions of paperback too, especially the vintage ones from like the 80s and stuff. If I can find them cheap, it's cool to have.
When I didn't have to wear reading glasses. But it was, I read that and I was like, wow, this is really good. Like I remember it was like a 3-pack I bought somewhere, and it was Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I read Dracula as a kid, so I love that. But I had never read Phantom until I was, like probably college age.
Okay, I think I read it when I was like 10.
And then Frankenstein, that wasn't my thing. It's well written, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just that it's a little bit, it was a wonderful story, obviously, and it stood the test of time. But like, I just like Dracula and Phantom just instantly, like I couldn't put the book down.
Yeah, and then I think my brother, when he read this, he read it in a day.
Yeah,
like you can do it. It's a long day.
Yeah, it's a very long day, but it's
not
just
that long of a book.
I mean, it's really, really good, the structure of it. And then I've read it many times, and then it's one of those ones you don't read it for a couple of years, and like you're cleaning out some stuff, you're like, oh, I think I'll read this again.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like my go-to. Here's Gaston.
He looks like he's like a hipster. He looks kind of
a little bit. I'm sure he kind of was back then, actually.
Yeah.
So he was born, I think that's why I have this up. Hold on. I think this is why did I have this up? We'll see. No,
is that what you were looking? We were looking for Notre Dame was in relation to the Opera House. Is that from last?
Well, at Google Maps, yeah, but I had this up for a reason. Oh well, I wanted to show where was Gaston Leroux born.
Do you know there's like a Gaston Leroux's, like some relative of his has a cafe, a Phantom themed.
Yes, I saw that. I was looking up. I was wondering if they spoke good enough English to be on my show.
Did they? I remember a couple of years ago. Like I don't know if they were.
I think it's still open.
About to close, or I hope they. Excuse me, I'm getting.
Yeah, I haven't seen their website open for a while, but you look it up on Google Maps and it says it's still open, so I'm not sure.
Maybe during the pandemic. That'd be cool if you can sneak in from the bot from like a trapdoor. Like that'd be cool.
Right? Yeah, I don't know if it's that cool, but holy shit, that'd be cool. I had his where he grew up somewhere, but I thought I'd start with where he started. I'll figure that out as we go along. But what we can show you is where he is buried.
Oh.
That's what this is. So this is Gaston Leroux's gravesite. What does that say? Gaston Leroux, yeah, died in 1927. I wish we got a commentary track on him watching the Lon Chaney movie.
Yeah, so he got to see it, I'm assuming.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, had to. That's
When did that book say?
so
That book came out
interesting.
like 1911 or something?
Yeah, it was published between 1910 and 11 as a serial in the newspaper. And then it was collected into a book minus one chapter, chapter 11, which I'm trying to get the translator of that chapter on the show to talk about it.
So it's pretty astounding when you think about it. Like within 10 years, that
There
movie,
it
it was a
is.
movie in development. Like, and that
Yeah.
stuff took so long back then. So
Yeah, isn't that? And actually, apparently there was a Phantom of the Opera movie that was made without his permission. So he like sued them and had it all destroyed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was
that's like
one that
Nosferatu.
predated.
That's happened like Nosferatu. That was supposed to have been destroyed because it was like unlicensed.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
waiting for that to pop up. Jeez, I wish. And I heard.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I can look that up.
Was there any pictures or photo? Like any?
There's like
imagery?
one photo, I think. I'll look it up in a second.
Oh man.
Oh no, I wanted to find this on Google Maps. Copy paste. Because I think he wanted to be buried in Nice. I think is that how to say it?
I think it's
Spelled
Nice,
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Nice.
And I think he got close. I think they put him in a cemetery that overlooks Nice.
Why do you want? Is there a reason he wanted to be buried there?
I don't know. I'm sure there was. I guess he just liked it. I don't know. So let's see.
He wanted to be buried someplace Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I don't know if you can walk around the cemetery here, but you can see, I guess it does. I guess it's on a hill and it overlooks Nice here. So that's pretty cool. That's Gaston. And I figured, the preface, it's pretty short. So I figured I'd play an audiobook and we could run commentary. And I'm going to, just to note, sometimes I recommend people to play this. If you're watching this after the fact, you should be playing this on probably 1.5 or two times the speed, because people talk slow. You don't realize how slow people talk until you start listening to them talk fast. But I'm going to play this in a faster speed than it's recorded. So if you are watching this in a higher speed, you might want to put it in normal speed for this section. Let's see.
This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain.
Yes, so I can use it.
Or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recorded by Corey Samuel.
Is that sped up, I'm assuming?
It's sped up,
Prologue.
yeah.
Okay.
Is it bothering
In
you?
which the author of
No, it's not. I was like,
how he acquired the certainty that the opera ghost really existed.
First of all, that's a little run-on sentence there, in which the author of the singular work tells the reader how it was that he became persuaded that the Phantom of the Opera really existed. That's the name of the chapter. That's nuts.
It's a lot of printing ink.
The opera ghost really existed. He was not, as was long
see.
believed, a creature of the imagination of the artists, the superstition of the managers, or a product of the absurd and impressionable brains of the young ladies of the ballet, their mothers, the box keepers, the cloakroom attendants, or the concierge. Yes.
Or the doorman, it says in my version. Yeah, so that's like the most famous line of the movie. I mean, from the book, I would say, right? It's what everyone, even you started your comic with that quote.
Yeah. I love how if you didn't know, like if you did, because there's nothing supernatural in it at all.
Right.
So it's like, if you read that at the time, you probably could have thought like it was real.
Dude, I was reading that in my lifetime thinking, and it's based on some real things. So that's why it's so great that, and it's even back then, it was probably even cooler to trick people like that because he was known most of his life until this point as a reporter. So he actually
Yeah.
did report like on wars and stuff, and so it's cool. It's written as a piece of, you know, nobody. That's another thing. No movie has put Gaston Leroux in it because he is speaking as himself throughout the book.
Yeah.
Isn't that
I know,
interesting?
like they've done like H.G. Wells. Do you ever see Time After Time with
I don't
Malcolm
think I
McDowell?
have. No.
It's like he's H.G. Wells. It's like he plays H.G. Wells, but then he actually has to go into like modern London or something like that. But it's kind of
Okay.
funny.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean that could be
I
an
think he has to
interesting
catch Jack.
bookend for a movie. Like Gaston could be sort of a character looking into
Yeah,
the mystery because that's how the book is written.
yeah.
Anyways,
He existed in flesh and blood, although he assumed the complete appearance of a real phantom, that is to say, of a spectral shade. When I began to ransack the archives of the National Academy of Music, I was at once struck by the surprising coincidences between the phenomena ascribed to the ghost and the most extraordinary and fantastic tragedy that ever excited the Paris upper classes.
so the National Archive, that is the opera. I think there's a library in the Opera House, and I believe you used to. That's another part of Google Maps that I've actually found that you could walk around at some point, but I can't
Oh,
find
we
it right
show
now.
that. I
Yeah.
like when you were doing like the walk around under in
Oh
the
shoot! I
catacombs.
wonder if I can. I'm gonna have to keep going back and forth between.
Do you have to?
Yeah, because I can only share one tab at a time. But
I like someone put Phantom was the OG Blair Witch. That's fun. That's true. What do you think about it? Like they
yeah, there
made
you go. Well, that's my brother
it.
Keith. He's
Uh,
the reason I got into Phantom of the Opera when I was 10 years old. So yeah, sure. Yeah, or the Blair Witch is the modern day Phantom of the Opera, I
yeah.
suppose. Yeah, I'm gonna go into Google Maps in a minute. Let's see.
And I soon conceived the idea that this tragedy might reasonably be explained by the phenomena in question. The events do not date more than 30 years back, and it
Which
would not be difficult to
means
find at the present day,
by
in the
the
foyer of the
time
ballet,
that this was
old men of the highest
written,
respectability.
it was set 30 years back would be 1981. So that's when this is set.
Men upon
You know
whose
what's
word
funny? I wonder if it would be like what's so charming about when you read it is like because it takes place way back when. I wonder like when it came out. So when it came out, it took place 30 years earlier. Is that what they were
Yeah,
saying?
right. So
They
this
said it
came
was
out in 1910. So 30
like
years
90.
or
Yeah, like,
11, 10, 11. So 80, 81.
so I wonder if it was like I guess it's a different kind of charm. So like that would it's like that's
So if
like the
anyone
stranger.
painted the New Year's Eve masquerade party of 1981, that would have been it.
Yeah, it's like Stranger Things. It takes place like 25, 30 years earlier.
Gotcha. Let's see. You know what? I'm just gonna go through. Just gonna go through my notes, and we'll jump into the Opera House.
Cool.
What's Yeah. Let's see. Live editing. Stop screen. Share screen. Let's go to the Opera House. Where do we have the Opera House? Here we have the Opera
Oh,
House.
there you go.
Let's see. Can I get into a cool area? I'm always stuck in the hallways. It's like a video game. Well, there's a
That's
beast
another
noise.
video game I'd like to see, like a monster, classic monsters, just simple fighting game, like Street Fighter, but with
Yeah, right.
Universal monsters.
Anyways, we're in the Opera House. I'm always lost in these
It's
corridors.
always in daytime, right? I'm assuming, or I guess it's not even daytime. It's just lit up.
Yeah, well, it's I mean, it's not live. It's
Yeah.
archived from like I think maybe August 2013. It says so, almost 10 years ago now.
This reminds me of remember in Thor Ragnarok where there's like the prison where all the gladiators had to stay. It was like a circular room. That's what it reminds me of. Like,
and then here's all right. We'll just jump to the cool part here. Let's see if I can copy and paste it in here. Here's the lake. We're in the lake on Google Maps. This is the real lake. Very cool. Very cool.
no, what is the lake? Is it like a why was it made? Like, was it irrigation or I'm curious.
Sort of, yeah. So I guess there was a lot of water underground that they kind of had to remove so they could build the structure. So they built this part of the basement to hold the water, so they can construct around it. I don't know all the details exactly, but yeah, it was for practical reasons. And it's not as impressive as you probably think it is, but it is.
I would have
so
built
cool
somewhere
to look at.
else. Maybe not.
Well,
Maybe someplace where there's water everywhere.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what the technology was like. So they mention he's as Gaston speaking as himself. He's looking into the disappearance of Christine Daae, the disappearance of the Viscount de Chagny, and the death of his older brother, the Count Philippe, which is another character that people often skip, the Count's brother, whose body was found at the edge of the Rue Scribe side of the lake. So let's go to Rue Scribe on Google Maps.
Oh wait, so this is where they found Raoul's brother?
Yeah.
This is where they found it. Okay.
Oh, it took me right into it. Oh man. Let's go to Google Earth. Hey, how are you doing? What's your time limit here?
I just sent you a private chat. I
Yeah.
totally lost track. I was gonna hop off at 10, but now it's almost
Oh
11.
shit. Yeah, I knew this was
It's
gonna be
totally
a long
fine,
one.
but yeah, but I'll probably hop off in a few minutes.
That's okay. How
I
about
lost track of time. I'm having fun.
well, good. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So here's can you see this is Google
So is this where the statue is? I mean the Apollo's lyre.
Well, yeah, it's on here. That's it in the middle here. I forget which side. I think it's the right side here is the Rue Scribe. So I guess the lake borders this street somehow. And that's where the body of his brother was found. The edge of the lake of the Rue Scribe side of the lake that lies beneath the opera. And then he's talking about the memoirs of the director. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's name. Moncharmin?
Oh, Moncharmin, yeah.
Moncharmin. I need
we need a French consultant.
French here. Yeah, exactly. And the of course the magic envelope. That's something. Of course, I'll get into that when that chapter comes up. But I never totally. I want an illusionist on here to explain the Phantom's tricks, because I'm sure they're actually based on some sort of magic tricks.
There it is. And there's something about the safety pin in somebody's pocket.
I never understood that fully, and I want to. That's why I'm deep diving.
I did, but I can't recall it. But I was in the same boat. Like I had to go back. Wait a second. How did they do that? How did they do that?
Yeah. Every time I read it, I'm like, I just need a magician to like come and explain it to me. So David Copperfield, come on the show anytime you want.
I love the whole everything. Like all his letters were edged in black.
It.
There you go.
My friend Pat used to live in Nice, or Nice, depending on how you want to say it.
But I always loved like all those letters. I remember like my first business cards and stuff. I had them edged in black just because I thought that was such a cool look for.
Oh yeah.
All the Phantom's notes are edged in black.
So then he runs into M4. It's more names I can't pronounce. Faure, Faure, the examining magistrate of the famous Affaire Chagny.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, so here he's in the archives researching this, and just so happens the guy behind the case is there. So Gaston Leroux is talking to this guy, and he thinks that there was a terrible struggle between the two over Christine Daae, which led to his brother's death. So the official reports, as he's reporting, is that the two brothers were fighting over Christine, and that Raoul killed his brother, I guess. And when I spoke to him of the Phantom, he only laughed. And then he talks about the Persian, who he says the judge believed him to be touched in the head.
Yeah.
And here's what I wanted to look up. He went to find the Persian, who lived in his little apartment in the Rue de Rivoli. So let's look that up.
Oh yeah, but then doesn't he recollect? Like, didn't he? After this all went down, didn't Eric visit him or something? And
yeah, in the end of the book, he does. Yeah. So
he was heartbroken or something.
This is the Rue right here, and let's see what's on here. Let's do layers. Cool. there's a famous street in Paris, I guess. And here's some pictures from it. So we can imagine, I mean, this is modern day, but this is where the Persian lived, on this street in Paris,
Larue.
in one of these little apartments, I guess. So if
Oh
you
wait,
can imagine that.
are you sharing? I'm not seeing it.
Oh shoot, wasn't sharing it. Well, let me go backwards. My
So
bad.
it's a little. So he lives on a rue of something.
So here is the center. Yeah, I guess that's Rue. I guess is just like street in
It's near.
French,
It's near
right?
the Rue McClanahan.
So here we go. Here's the pictures I was looking at. So you imagine he probably lived in one of these little rooms here somewhere. But this is the street that the Persian lives on. And there's, I guess, an amusement park there.
There's the Ferris wheel
There's
that
like
Eric used to go on.
malls and stuff and cool art and statues. So yeah, Sephora. So if the Persian wants some makeup,
Yeah, there's Eric's.
Yeah, exactly. Blah 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 blah. He has handwritten notes from Christine that Gaston Leroux has checked to make sure they're all accurate and
Legit.
compared handwriting. Okay, so this is probably one of my favorite things in Phantom of all time. It says it may be recalled not long ago while digging in the basement of the opera in order to bury phonograph recordings of the singers' voices, the workmen's picks unearthed a cadaver. I was soon able to prove that this was the body of the Phantom of the Opera, and not, as it was reported, a victim of the Commune, which there's a whole backstory about the opera house, and it was mid-construction. It was housing the armies of the war, and there's like a whole lot of stuff. But these recordings, these are absolutely real. This is a real thing they did, and it says here in the liner notes. I mean, this came. I don't know when this edition came out. Probably sometime in the mid '90s, but it says in 1907, such a time capsule was buried a few paces from the large underground lake that was made to be a reservoir from which the water could be pumped at the slightest alarm. A plaque was affixed to the wall that said, "The gift of Alfred Clark, 28 June 1907. On this date, vacuum sealed, 24 records were buried in which, according to the wishes of the donor, were not to be unearthed until 100 years have passed. There, doomed to a century of silence, there were the voices of Patty, Melba, and a bunch of names of singers. 32 more records were buried in 2 additional urns, this time with a record. Oh, in 1912, they buried 32 more records, this time with a record player, a speaker, as well as a box of needles were also buried. A complete listing of blah, blah, blah. So check this out. 100 years later, they did dig these up and they put them out on CD.
Oh,
and
so
you
they
can
did
see a picture of them actually burying these records that are talked about in the preface of the book from 1907.
That's cool. I was going to ask you.
3 CDs from EMI Classics. And the first voice you hear is the old manager, I guess, Fearman.
Oh, it's so funny. Like, I'm glad, because when you were reading that before, you mentioned that they buried a record player next to needles, because like they weren't factoring in like technology.
Right.
Like I have so many things that are on zip drives. Like no one has a
Oh
zip
my
drive player
God.
anymore.
Remember zip
like,
drive? Wow.
so
Wow.
what if you bury a time capsule like maybe 100 years from now? They may not have a way to play it.
Yeah. So
they put the record player in there.
I'll probably do a whole episode on this someday, just because I think it's the coolest thing ever. Like this is a real thing, and that's why like Gaston Leroux was so intelligent. Like that
They're
was
so
a real thing that
fast-paced.
happened.
Yeah.
And here's another note about the Commune. There's the revolt before it was over was singularly bloody. Estimates of casualties range from 17,000 dead to 36,000, and there were 38,000 arrests. So
where's the place underneath where all like the skulls are? Isn't that a real place down there?
the catacombs of Paris? Yes, that's also a real thing, which
Who
is
were the skulls?
surprisingly not. I don't know when that was made, because why would he not make that part of the book? Commune and the cellars of the opera were not buried on that side, he says. So that's why he knew that skeleton was the Phantom of the Opera's. Here's another note about that war. During the siege of Paris by the Germans in 1870, during the Franco-Prussian War, the cellars of the opera were requisitioned and turned into a vast military warehouse. For about 6 months, some 4,500 tons of food were stored in them. That includes 17 tons of wheat, 624 of flour, 280 tons of biscuits, 224 of rice, as well as quantities of salt, sugar, and coffee, salt or pickled pork, beef, and fish. There were 7 tons of cheese. But since they were French supplies, we need not be startled to learn that there were 1,000,000 blah 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 liters of wine and 511 something hundred liters of brandy. So I think those are the barrels that he uses later in the book were also real, and they were put there for the war.
Yeah.
And that's basically the end of the preface.
Didn't he put like explosives in them? I thought he put like gunpowder in them.
Well, yeah.
He probably had them left over from war stuff.
Yeah, something like that.
Barrels.
So it's all related.
That's very cool. He did his homework.
Yeah, that's the preface. If anyone hasn't read the book, we'll just guide you through it on this show. So I figure let's close it out. Only have you read any other Phantom of the Opera comic books?
Yeah, I have a couple graphic novel versions of them, I believe. There was also a comic one I used to have. I don't know if it was like, I feel like it was like Batman versus a Phantom. There's like a crossover thing from a long time ago. I read a digital version of it.
I think you're talking about this.
No, no, it's not that actually. Really? It was, I don't know who was that? Was it Tarzan? It was it was a long time ago. There's somebody meets Phantom.
I have a Phantom Stranger. And that's a parody of the cover of I think of one of the Claude Rains posters. Let's see. I have Uncle Scrooge, the Phantom of the Notre Duck. That's not a graphic novel, but that's fun.
I'm just remembering now too, when I was at the end, when I did Chapter Maker, I just had Phantom on the brain. So we did this. There used to be, so Listerine had a product for kids called Agent Cool Blue. Like, remember, when you were a kid, did you have those little tablets you chew and it shows like the red, it shows like where the plaque is on your teeth?
I don't think I've ever used them myself, but it sounds vaguely familiar.
So they had Listerine came out with like a mouthwash for kids, and you gargle with it where it says it was blue on your teeth. It showed there's plaque. So we did there was a DVD there was like a DVD on pack. So we did a little thing with this anime, but I remember I should find that because I hid a whole bunch of Phantom characters in it. Like the Red Death's in there. I'm gonna see if I can find that on YouTube while you're.
Yeah, sure. While I'm doing some show and tell. Here's another. This is a graphic novel I found. I believe it was published very recently. 2020. There's a new graphic novel. It's pretty cool. It was very book accurate, actually. And the art's not so bad. Look at that. Let's see what else there is. I know I've done this on because my last guest was also a comic book artist. I was showing all my Phantom of the Opera comics. There's Sherlock Holmes Adventures of the Opera Ghost. Have you ever read that?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Could be.
Oh, well, actually, I found it. I found Agent Cool Blue, but it's actually on my YouTube.
You want to send me a link?
I'll send you. Yeah, let me send it to you. I'll put it in I'll send it to you in a private chat.
There's a graphic novel called Girl Over Paris, where she does spend a lot of time in the catacombs that you just talked about. Oh, cool. Let's check this out.
So I'll tell you where to freeze if my memory serves me right. So this is 2000 2000 like I don't even know what.
2000 late.
Is that when it was?
No.
It was.
No, that's not it. Listerine.
I think I can share. Want me to share?
There it is. I got you.
Okay, there you go. So make it. It's a short little thing. It was an on-pack DVD.
I'll turn the music down.
Yeah. It's like I directed this
nice.
way back when. Yeah, can you make it full screen
Oh yeah.
or just there you go? So I'll tell you.
Cool Blue.
Celebrity star.
I have a movie premiere tonight, and my teeth are under attack.
Fast forward a little bit, like he's on his flight. He goes into because he goes backstage in Hollywood. Okay, wait.
Oh, Romeo.
Those nasty teeth.
Ugh.
It's when he goes into the cost. He chases somebody into. Oh, there.
Is this
Okay,
it?
yeah. Okay, wait. Yeah, this is laden with. You go back a little bit. This is laden with Easter eggs, characters in there that we could do with that. Like, okay,
All right.
pause.
I saw
Okay.
a creature. I see a witch. I see a
There's
hunchback.
Hunchback.
A
There's
mummy.
London After Midnight.
Yeah. Oh, I see an invisible man all the way in the back. It's hard to see. There's a Frankenstein.
Red Death is in there. I distinctly remember putting Red Death.
It's probably. Oh yeah, there's a Red Death right on the right
where?
side corner, right?
Oh wait, no, that's not Red Death, but there is like the Red Death in the red.
Oh, let's see.
Let's see. The Minotaur.
We're gonna find a phantom.
Okay, then you click on something.
You'll never
Okay.
catch me, Agent Cool Blue. We're gonna turn Tinseltown into Tartar Town.
So did you animate this?
Can help it.
I directed it. Like they
Oh.
gave the script was written, and then like I worked with the team of animators. I didn't animate myself. I could have sworn I did a Red Death in there.
I think that was it. What?
I
Let me
couldn't
go
remember.
back.
Wait,
Is that? Oh,
maybe
Oh.
oh wait, oh there it is. Wait,
is that it?
See the
Next to
feather?
the mummy?
No, look. See
Oh,
that scene
okay.
behind.
Behind Frankenstein,
Yeah, but maybe that
right
was
above his head, right here, right?
Yeah, but I could have sworn it was red. Like I
mean, it's a little red. It's just really dark.
think.
when
Let
you
me go
share
back. I
it.
still think there's another one in there.
Okay,
Unless I'm doing revisionist history.
it could be.
See.
Not if I can help it.
Okay, let's see.
I don't know. I think that was
Oh,
it.
Okay, man, that's disappointing. Just 2 disappointments tonight now.
Oh my God, man, you're
The book's not there.
okay.
Right.
Let's see. Here's one I think you would enjoy. It's sort of a comic book. The Phantom of the Opera, a photo novel. So it's a comic book version of the movie, but it's
Oh,
actually
is that like
frames from
the
the
Lon
movie.
Chaney thing? Oh wow.
Yeah.
I like when they do that.
So that's kind of fun. You know,
That's
there's
cool.
the classic unmasking.
So
I wonder
there's-
which version of the movie. Oh, and they even do the Technicolor. That's cool.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
Very cool.
and then this, or of course, have you seen this? The new graphic novel of the musical.
No, I've not seen that.
That one's pretty cool. I mean, we all know the story, of course, but you know, it's a new take on it. That's pretty cool. Check it out if you like the Phantom musical and comic books. And here's my newest acquisition that I have not read yet, and I don't know if I can read because it's in a different language. But it's El Fantasma del Opera. And how cool is that cover?
That's very cool.
And you know what? The art doesn't seem. It's Let's see. Let's find a good one. So the art's kind of cartoony in a fun way.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to read. Of course, it'll just be me looking at it. I know the story. I'll be able to follow it.
That's
I'm
still
pretty
fun
sure.
though. It's a quick read.
Yeah. Oh, and look, the mask is kind of Phantom of the Paradisey.
Oh yeah.
So
With the eyes. Yeah.
So that's something I'm gonna read soon. And that's all I got. I think we did a pretty good show. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I had fun. That's 2 hours. Wow, that
Yep, I
flew.
told you. Sometimes it just you never
Yeah.
know.
Well, definitely, there's still stuff to talk about. So
I know. Yeah.
So hopefully
come back.
you'll have me back sometime.
There's
and,
never gonna be stuff about there's never gonna be a lack of stuff to talk about with Phantom of the Opera. That's why I
Yeah.
figured I could just like milk this show forever if I want to. Oh, and let me do a little advertisement for my next week I think I might have a pre-recorded episode, but I won't be here live because I have a job to do. But coming up, we haven't set a date yet, but Ryan Bijan will be here eventually. He made a short
Oh,
film
nice.
about 10 years ago called Eric, Portrait of a Living Corpse.
I remember that.
Phantom of the
Maybe-
Opera from the Phantom's perspective. I have
I
two
remember when he did that. That's
DVDs of
really
this.
cool.
Yeah, so we'll talk. He's someone else I've been trying to get on the Phantom phenomenon for 10 years. So now I'm
I'll
making
have to check that
it all
out.
happen. Yeah, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere or not, but I don't know. We'll find out.
I remember
guess.
seeing a lot of like the behind the scenes stills and stuff he was sharing. That was really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And he was really young. He was like a college student or something when he did
Yeah.
that, you know? So I think he does Batman films now because he looks,
Oh, wow.
he's very like, he's got that like square jaw kind of look to him.
Oh,
So he fits the role.
Yeah.
So look forward to that, you know. Follow me at Found a Phantom on Instagram. That's where you'll get all the news, and hopefully I'll be back every Friday as much as I can. Maybe not the next 2 Fridays because I think the Friday after that I'll be on tour with Green Jelly. So if you're in Buffalo or Pennsylvania and somewhere else, come see me play.
So that band at the top of the show, that video, was that your band? Was that
That
Green
was my
Jelly?
band. No, that wasn't Green Jello. That was my band Vonesper.
Okay.
Green Jello. Do you remember Green Jello? They did that Three Little Pigs song from the 90s with the claymation video.
Oh yeah, I was like
Little
pig. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm member number 237.
That's fun.
And there's over 1,000 now, so I'm an old school member.
Oh wow. That's very cool.
Yeah, they're going on tour. It's kind of like a open door policy of members. It's like, hey, if you show up.
Oh really?
Show, kind of, yeah. Well, he was doing franchise bands for a while, and now it's kind of like drive yourself to the show, and if you show up, you're in the band. You know, like
that's
as long as they know you're coming and stuff. You know.
Yeah, that's fun. And you get to play.
Yeah, I'll get to play. You know, it's like riding a bike, learning those songs again.
So
you know, it's kind of like back then there was like 2 drummers, 2 bass players, like 5 groups. It's like whatever. It's
like a jam session.
It's it's a joke that went too far for too long.
Yeah. I don't think a joke can go too far though.
Yeah.
I think it should go as long as it can go.
As long as Bill is there, like he could do a whole show by himself without a band if he wants to. So whatever. Well, thanks for coming by, man.
Dude, thanks for having me on.
Get your comic book out there so people can buy it again.
I know. That was such a startling revelation. Well, that's good now because I was kind of holding off on doing it just because like I knew it was for sale there, so maybe I'll get to the bottom of it now.
Let's finish your adaptation of the novel too, because I want to see the rest of that.
I know, I do too. The source material's written. It's just a matter of me drawing it.
Well, maybe you should take a tip from our past best guest Becky and do a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
People you know, seem to like to buy Phantom things, so there's a support in the community.
Okay. I think I will do that.
I want to see it.
I might do Trap Door Maker as a Kickstarter thing too.
Cool. Yeah. Just put some, I don't know, you still have original art and stuff. I'm sure you could put something exclusive in that one.
Yeah, no, just like the CGI, the animation studio who was into the effects and stuff. So
right.
Stuff now, I mean, again, now social media is out. Like there was no such thing as social media when I did it. So it's kind of a different, and I work in social media now. So it's like,
and I got this, I got you on my show promoting it already. So it's already out in the world. There's going to be a demand.
The seeds are planted.
That's right. Get it together. You'll come back because there's a million things to talk about.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have the premiere in Iran if the movie comes out. We can.
Oh, so now you're gonna finish the movie too?
Yeah, I want to do a Chapter Maker movie, but I want to film on location in Persia.
Wow.
Modern and just.
Good luck with that, man.
Yeah.
How about some green screen?
Exactly. Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. And there'll be more exploring the Opera House in future episodes.
I'll dig up some more goodies.
Yes. Dig up some phonographic records.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Have a good Phantom Friday. And I don't know. I don't have a way to end this show. How about go glow in the dark?
That should be the official ending. That's the Uncle Milton Phantom with a
long. Go look up some Basil or Basil Gogos art. You
Yeah, if
know?
anybody who has not heard of Basil Gogos, just Google. I mean, he died, I think, like 2 years ago. It's pretty recent, but
Yeah.
just Google it. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
I mean, if you're watching this, I hope you know who he is. But if not, let us blow your mind, man. He's got
Yeah.
some of the best monster art out there ever.
He's
All
awesome.
right, everybody. I will see you later. Oh, and the other thing I want to promote. Where's my slide for it? My other show, Von Pod. If you're into crazy people in masks, then you might like this. We have the co-founder of Guar on next week,
Oh,
Hunter
nice.
Jackson. And if you like specifically guitar players in white masks, go check out the episode I did with Maximum Bob, the original singer of Buckethead's band, The Deli Creeps, which I did last night. That is on the channel, and it was really, really fun. And that's all I got for you. So have a good Phantom Friday. I'll see you when I see you, man.
I'll see you next time. I'll be watching.
Yes. See ya.
See ya.